many sporting rivalries that can boast years of history, ferocious tensions and iconic tussles that ignite the fans to their very core. But when it comes to the battle of the mind games and the verbal exchanges in the heat of battles down the decades, the Ashes stands alone. So here are some of the most memorable Ashes housery moments. Few figures in Ashes history were despised by the opposition more than Douglas Jardine. He was the granite-jawed architect of the notorious 1932 Bodyline series, which sent shockwaves through the sport that still reverberate nearly a century later. One day, the hurricane met the tornado as Jardine met Yabba. As the name suggests, Yabba, real name Stephen Harold Gascoigne, was a heckler who became so famous that a statue was made of him. When Jardine was on the boundary swatting away some flies, Yabba yelled the immortal line, "Jardine, leave our flies alone. They're the only friends you've got here." Like Jardine before him, Stuart Broad is another figure who had a particular gift for riling the Aussie public, mainly due to his jaw-dropping survival at Trent Bridge in 2013, when he very visibly nicked off to slip and refused to walk. Broad is somewhat the modern housery king. He officially became a sorcerer in 2023 when his random bail swaps twice bought a wicket with the next ball at the Oval. 3 tests earlier, after that Carey Bairstow run-out, Broad made sure he was right in the thick of the pantomime. Wicketkeeper Ian Healy issued one of the great lines towards Nasser Hussain. When Steve Waugh told Ricky Ponting to field right under Hussain's nose, Healy remarked, "That could be anywhere within a 3-mile radius." Poor Nass. But perhaps the most poetic of sledges came from bowler of lightning bolts Dennis Lillee about the Yorkshireman of Yorkshiremen, Geoffrey Boycott, about whom Lillee wrote this: "He's the only fellow I've met who fell in love with himself at a young age and has remained faithful ever since." Priceless.
Good morning, it's 4 minutes past 6 o'clock and it's Monday, December the 8th. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with Arnold Clark at the UK's best used car deals guaranteed. I'm Jeff Stelling with the great news that the World Cup draw has finally finished. I do hope you stuck it out, because if you didn't, you'll have missed the concluding duet between Johnny Infantino and Donald Trump singing My Way. And I'm delighted to say he must have missed the end of it, because Ally McCoist is back with us. Morning, Coisty.
Jeff, very good morning to you, mate. You're not wrong. It was one of the longest draws in modern history. Jeff, if somebody had said to me after a 4-hour draw that I'd sit be watching the village people on a stage turning round and watching the President of the United States dancing to the aforementioned village people, I'd have had them locked up. But that's what I saw, mate.
Yeah, I mean, look, we'll talk about it more later on. But when you look at, the England group, England, Croatia, Panama and Ghana, well, it was bound to come out that way, because it seemed to me that every team was barred from playing anybody else apart from those 4 teams. You know, it was I don't know what it was like to be out there, but watching at home, it was appalling, abysmal, pitiful, bloated.
Jeff, now wait a minute, mate. You could get up off your couch and go and get a cup of tea, right? I was stuck right in the middle of it, mate. Yeah. It was agony.
Well, if you'd got up out of your seat, mate, somebody who didn't know a single thing about football would have shoved a microphone in your face, because that was what was happening with everybody else.
Ah, dear me. Do you know something? The one thing I would say, in the country's defence, Washington, D.C. is a beautiful place. I was up with the jet lag, Jeff, a couple of times. The couple of mornings I was there, I was up at blinking 5:30, 6 o'clock. So I was out walking. I was getting my steps in. I done about 18,000 steps. And I did the Lincoln Memorial, Washington Memorial, you name it. And it was brilliant. It was absolutely fantastic.
Have they got a Donald Trump Memorial yet? Oh, more importantly, have they got a Johnny Infantino Memorial yet?
What was it like, mate?
Oh, mate, unbelievable. Never mind. Look, back home, it was another huge weekend in the Premier League, and of course, talkSPORT was the place to be.
And it's rifled in by Buendia! Aston Villa lead! I've got to say, you've never seen celebrations like this. Villa have just given the rest of the Premier League an early gift, a proper title race.
Manchester City 3, Sunderland 0, and it's Phil Foden with his 5th goal in 3 games.
Finished with the vitality, Bournemouth 0, Chelsea 0.
And it's Spurs 2, Brentford 0, and Xavi Simons with his first goal for Spurs.
Everton 3, Nottingham Forest 0. It's Keenan Dewsbury Hall.
Fleming looking for his 5th Premier League goal of the season, and he puts it into the back of the net. It's a lifeline for Burnley.
It's incredible. It's Leeds 3, Liverpool 3, 5 minutes into stoppage time. Al Tanaka off the bench has slammed in at the far post, and Aaron Rhodes has gone berserk.
And the goal has been given. The referee points to the spot. Jorginho with the finish. Tactical display here from Nuno and his men. They couldn't quite come away with all 3 points.
And a late sting in the towel in this London derby. It's Fulham 1, Crystal Palace 2. The Palace skipper, Mark Gay.
Yeah, Saturday was a late draw for Brighton against West Ham and a late winner for Palace away against Fulham, of course, at the weekend. Wins, big one for Manchester City. Newcastle, Everton had David Moyes talking about the possibility maybe of Europe. He thinks it's unlikely, but not impossible. And somehow, Coisty, you were at the early kickoff on Saturday.
What a game, Jeff.
How did you make that? Look, you specialise in transport stories, so come on. Well, how did you get from Washington, D.C. to Birmingham?
This wasn't without trouble, I can tell you.
Well, why does that not surprise me?
The flight from, is it Dulles Airport, appropriately named in Washington, D.C., was 4 hour delayed. 4 hour delayed, and I got into Heathrow. I think I got into Heathrow. Well, Jeff, it was probably nearly about 10 o'clock, and thankfully Max Verstappen was waiting on me just before the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix on Sunday, and Max got me up. In all seriousness, there's a lad called Ash, and he did ever so well, and we had a good drive up there. I made it just for kick-off, so I did the punditry. But I tell you, what a game, Jeff. I don't know if you watched it, mate.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
I really thought it was absolutely top class. 2 teams bang at it. I thought the football was superb. I thought it was one of these games they were denying each other space. It was almost criminal when you gave the ball away. And I just thought, there wasn't a lot between the sides. I thought probably Villa deserved to be ahead at half time. I thought the Arsenal came out second half were excellent, really excellent, deservedly got their goal, and I thought, here we go. But then what happened was Villa got back into it, and I thought probably looked the more dangerous to go and win the game, and then the ending was just unbelievable. Buendia's goal, the excitement in the place, as you heard Sam say there, the roof just to come off the place. It was just a great game of football, Jeff.
Yeah, it was, with that amazingly dramatic climax. And understandably, you and I are reluctant to talk about whether they're title contenders or not. But I loved when Matty Cash afterwards was asked what this team could achieve, and he replied, anything. Well, they're sort of achieving not the impossible, but the unlikely at the moment, aren't they, after the start of the season they had. And what a week that is, by the way. End of December, Villa have Chelsea away on the 27th and Arsenal away on the 30th. So we'll know by then whether they're contenders or not.
I think that this moment in time we'll have to see, Jeff. We'll have to. They've won 9 in the last 10, in the league. Their form has been excellent. I think they're starting 11 and they've got probably about 13, 14 that are as good as anything. You would worry about not having 18, 19, 20, which Arsenal and probably City have. But, you know, I thought, as I say, I thought Rodgers was terrific. I thought Daniel Mallon, when he came on, really gave them a problem as well. So
Tielemans is the man for me.
Oh,
absolutely love him.
He's a great footballer, Jeff. Yep. He's just a great footballer. I don't know whether you agree about Tielemans. He's one of these ones, Jeff. It doesn't look that easy on the eye because he's probably not as athletic as some of the other ones. But his football savvy and his football knowledge and the way he takes things, breaks things up, I just think his overall general knowledge of football's absolutely top class. I don't disagree with you.
I've got to say, I was surprised by the full-time score because listening to the co-commentator, I thought Arsenal had won 6-0. Anyway, moving swiftly along.
He's getting a bit as well, Martin, isn't he?
Well, I have to tell you, Coisty, look, we get on really well, but he deserves it. Goodness me, he deserves it.
You didn't see our pal Gabby, no? Brilliant.
No, I didn't.
Our pal Gabby posted a picture of Martin in his Aston Villa strip, and he was giving him a bit of stick underneath it. It was very funny. It was good.
I love it. Of course, the other main story of the weekend, Liverpool throwing away that 2-0 lead at Ellen Road. 2-0 and 3-2, of course, to draw with Leeds. Mo Salah again on the bench, and oh boy, did he make some headlines after the game.
Wow.
Sitting on the bench for 90 minutes, I think that's the third time I'm in the bench. I think it's my first time in my career, but I'm very disappointed. I'm very, very disappointed, to be fair. I have done so much for this club. Everybody can see that during the years, and especially last season. Sitting on the bench, I don't know why. Seems like a club is throwing me under the bus. That's how I feel it. I think it's very clear that someone wants me to get all the blame. The club promised me in the summer for a lot of promises and nothing. So far, I'm in the bench 3 games, so I can't say that they keep the promise. And I said that many times before. I had a good relationship with the manager, and out of the sudden, we don't have any relationship. I don't know why. It seems to me, how I see it, it's someone doesn't want me in the club.
I don't know if you noticed there, a couple of the journalists in the background, you saw them licking their lips and punching the air as they were listening to Mo Salah.
You couldn't believe that. Have you ever heard an interview where somebody's got it more wrong in their life, no?
Well, has he got it so wrong? That's the question.
Well, I think so, Jeff. Right. I think as a player, it's a shocking interview.
But is he being made a scapegoat?
No.
You know, because, look, he's arguing from a position of weakness in some respects because he's been terrible this season by his own standards.
That's why
he's not the only one, Coisty.
Correct. Absolutely. But Liverpool have got better players in that position to leave him out, I think, rather than perhaps a centre-back, or whether you want to talk about Kerkez at left-back. You know, the difference there is not, I think, if not minimal, it's not as large as they've got the quality in forward areas. He's been playing poorly, Jeff. He's one of the best players we've ever seen in the league. He's been dropped and left out for no other reason than he's been playing poorly. Now, for him to say he's been made a scapegoat, I think's absolute nonsense. And for him to say, oh, I've done so much for the club. By the way, Mo, the club's done so much for you.
Yeah. Look, completely agree. Just one thought, though, Coisty. Do you think there might be an element here of the Liverpool hierarchy have looked at their position, looked at their weaknesses, looked at their strengths, and thought, we made a mistake by offering you a new deal, and are trying to force him out?
Excuse me. The answer is I don't know, and nobody knows. But the hierarchy would certainly be thinking, because we're thinking about it. I mean, we're talking about all the usual things come out as, you know, is he now resting in his laurels? You know, is he on the downward slope when you always reach eyes? All these questions inevitably get asked. That doesn't mean the answer to them is yes, right? But the fact of the matter is, will they be questioning it? Of course they would. Yes, and that is only natural, because see if he'd started the season and he'd banged in about 11, 12 goals and he'd 7 or 8 assists, they wouldn't be thinking that. But because he's not, and because his form has dropped, that automatically, whether it's right or not, We don't know, but it automatically comes into people's heads because that's what happens. That's football. I just think, I don't think they'll be doing that. I genuinely don't. However, Jeff, if the deal came back on, potentially in the winter, then it would certainly be something that I think, by the sounds of things, both parties might think about.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think Ian is resting on his laurels, because if he was resting on his laurels, he wouldn't mind being on the bench. Let's be brutally honest.
Jeff, listen, I told you what I am in it, mate. I think he's been one of the best players we've seen in the league. I genuinely say that.
Of course he has.
But I just think he's got it wrong with his comments.
Oh, well, the only time that Mo speaks to the press, let's be honest,
yes,
is if he wants to have to stand up for himself, have a dig at somebody else. Let's hear from you. I mean, is it a case of keeping Slot or Salah? Can the two both stay at the club right now? 03717223344, let us know. Scott's just texted in and said, ask Ali what he thinks about the new Celtic manager and his new wee tactics board he was using yesterday. Come on, it's not an under-15s team he's managing. Embarrassing. Scott, we will ask that question a little bit later in the show. Next, we'll be getting the thoughts of legendary skipper Graeme Souness. Actually, that's at about 9 o'clock this morning. But up next, it's a look at the back pages as Brendan McCullum, and I have to tell you, by the way, I'm going to be over-prepared for this little discussion. Yeah. Oh, he says they were over-prepared for the second test humiliation against Australia. Discuss that next. the end of the World Cup draw, you'd have also missed Sinead O'Connor being played from Johnny Infantino to Donald Trump. Nothing compares to you. Sinead would have been 59 today. Of course, tragically passed away far too young. She was just 56.
What a talent.
Fantastic. And what a song.
Incredible. Who wrote it?
I don't know. You're going to tell me.
Well,
I'm hoping you're going to tell me.
I think I want to say Peter Gabriel. I might be wrong, but I want to say Peter Gabriel.
We think you're wrong, because DJ Ed, who is the fountain of all knowledge, says Prince. Right?
Yeah, I knew it was either Prince or Peter Gabriel.
Because they're very similar. Anyway.
What's not up for debate is it's some song.
Yeah, it's some song. Nicholas says Mo's not been very good this year. I agree, everyone's focused on his case as if it was only his performance that was poor. What about Virgil van Dijk, who's been poor and showing awful leadership? I think Mo deserves more respect for being arguably the best player in the league for the last 7 or 8 years. He's gone about it the wrong way, but what he says is right. Jill says, good morning. Morning, Jill. In my opinion, Salah's done this on purpose as he's off to Saudi. As you said, he's not the only one playing poorly, e.g. Van Dijk. By the way, people watching on YouTube or on their TVs this morning, Coisty, they spotted your Christmas tree, mate. More particularly, they have spotted the blue lights in the background.
Oh, I'm pleased.
Yes,
I'm pleased.
Yeah.
I made a wee effort there.
Good lad, yeah. Rangers through and through. Eh?
You better believe it. The tree's green. That's enough green in the house.
Yeah, we're not allowed to have blue lights on our Christmas tree at home because the wife thinks it reminds us that the police might be on my trail again, Anyway, right, it is 6:22. Let's take a look at today's back pages with Tesco Mobile for Business.
Backpage review on talkSPORT with Tesco Mobile for Business. Are you a freelancer? Get business phone bills for up to 40% less than the big mobile networks. For terms and verification, visit tescomobile.com/business.
And Olivia Bazagla is back with us. Morning, Olivia.
Good morning, Olivia.
Morning. I love the blue, Ali. Love the blue lights.
Thank you, Olivia. Not you, mate.
For different reasons, but I still love it. As you can imagine, we're going to get into Salah in just a second, but on the back pages, dominated by Lando Norris, back of the Express, tears of a crown, on the back of the Sun, cry and mighty. I like this one. Jeff, I don't know if you like this one. Star Sport winning in a winter wonderlando? No?
Yes. Yes.
Maybe a little yes from Jeff. Maybe a little yes.
It's a bit cumbersome, a bit long.
It is a bit long, but I quite liked it. And the back page of the Mirror, which I quite liked, it says champ, brilliant Norris lands world title, and underneath says chump. Stokes gets another Ashes bashing. You mentioned it before the break, Jeff, and I just want to get your opinions on that, because on the back page of The Guardian, England have felt the pressure of the Ashes. But obviously, Brendan McCullum coming out and saying we overtrained. Now, I know. What are your thoughts on that, Jeff?
Taking the mickey. He's got to be taking the mickey. And and also, I mean, seriously, that was bad. It almost as bad was when Ben Stokes said, it's been an arduous tour, or words to that effect so far. You played 2 test matches. One of them lasted 2 days, for God's sake. And now they need a break up in some sunshine paradise. Talk about rubbing it in for cricket fans.
Yeah, I mean, Ali, what are your thoughts? Because, all of the talk before, was all of those England legends coming out and having their opinions on the warm-up games, and that they didn't have enough of them in the right sort of settings. Yeah. And it's almost like their points proven, no?
Well, I don't know. I just think it's simple. And tell me if I'm wrong, Jeff. I just think they look better with the bat and they look better with the ball. Do you know what I mean? I'm not sure England would look better with the bat and the ball if they had more warm-up games or whatever, but the Australians have just looked better.
Yeah. Well, look, I completely agree. And when you look at the test rankings, we're ranked 6th in the world. So what's happening, is not unexpected, probably to the rest of the world, but it's when we go into these series so gung-ho. Look, people were talking about us. Piers Morgan suggested we would win 5-0 or 4-0. He still says I think his tongue is firmly in his cheek. Yeah. He still says that we're going to win 3-2. No, we're not, Piers. We really are not.
No. I'm not sure anyone actually believes that right now, but we can all hope. Let's move on to Mohamed Salah then. I know you guys were talking about it a little bit just before the break. I've been looking on social media just because I think the fans are pretty split, which I find quite difficult to to believe.
Same here.
You know, the Anfield Wrap, which are a big social media account that all Liverpool fans will know, they've had their opinions. They sort of can see where Salah's coming from. The Anfield Watch has got 1 million followers. They've done a poll on Salah. Who are you backing, Slot or Salah? And 78% of the votes are backing Mohamed Salah. Are you surprised by that, Ali?
Well, that's a different question to see who's in the right and who's in the wrong here. If the question is who's in the right and who's in the wrong, there is a far greater percentage would say Salah's in the wrong. But if the question is who you're backing, that, in my opinion, that's a completely different question, because there is no doubt in my mind that I don't even think it's up for debate. Salah's wrong. Salah is, Olivia, not even 50, 80, he's 100% wrong with his comments, because there is no way that he has been thrown under any bus. His comments are, it's quite the reverse actually, his comments would indicate he's blinking thrown Liverpool under the bus. That's the time you say, no matter what you think, that's the time you say, well, do you know something? I'll have a wee look in the mirror here. How have I been playing this season? Do you know something? Yeah, I've been playing really, really poor. Do I deserve to win that team on current form? The problem is, I'll tell you right now, Jeff, the problem is if Mo Salah really believes he should be in that team in current form, that's the problem.
Yeah, but I mean, does anyone deserve to be in that team on current form? Realistically, when you look at it, you know, that's what the Anfield Wrap was saying.
But he's easier to replace than Van Dijk. This is my point. If you're a football coach or a football manager, it's easier to I know, you know, I get it. Fans will look at it and say, you can't drop Salah. He's one of the best, and he is. But Van Dijk, who hasn't been playing that well, he's not a partner. There's been no consistency in the back four at all. Kanate's not been playing. Gomez has been in and out with injury. So from the coach's decision, from the manager's decision, I get it totally. It's not right to use the term. It's easier to. You can argue if Liverpool had another two good centre halves, Van Dijk and Kanate would both be out, but they don't. But they have better players in forward positions.
Yeah, which is down to the football club, of course, and their recruitment.
Correct.
You know, their lack of recruitment at centre half. I completely understand the 78%. You know, you're right, Coachy. It's the question there asked. Mo Salah has been wonderful for that football club, year after year after year. The only thing I wonder about is, look, they've left him on the bench. I accept that can happen to any football player, including Mo Salah, and his form would tell you he deserves to be on the bench, you know. But they're playing West Ham. They're a couple of goals up. He doesn't bring him on.
Yeah.
They're playing Leeds. He doesn't bring him on. And I think that was, you know, a kick in the proverbials for him, if you like.
Here's a question, Jeff.
There seems to be such a breakdown in relationships between manager and player.
Can I ask you a quick question, Jeff? You asked me a valid question. You said, would it be in the Liverpool backroom psyche to put him on the bench and try and force that move now? Right? I'll flip it the other way about. Could it be in Mo Salah's psyche with his comments that he now wants to go in December or January?
Yeah, it could. Absolutely. It absolutely could. I mean, Phil from Broadstairs, he summed this up this way, Coisty. He said, Salah's watched the Ronaldo template at United. He'll be on Piers Morgan next. Definitely a plant pot.
Very good. Very good.
Do you think, Jeff, that Mohamed Salah, whether, you know, the timing of this, you know, he's just about to go to AFCON to go and represent his country. We know how much of a god he is over there in Egypt. The timing of it does seem a little bit strange if he's not trying to force through a move maybe in January. But do you think Salah has maybe relieved a little bit of the pressure on Arne Slot right now, given Liverpool's form that no one's talking about?
Yes, it's taken the focus off Slot.
That's a good thing, I suppose.
Because otherwise, you know, people would be asking, people are asking, but not as vociferously as they would be otherwise. How on earth you throw away a 2-goal lead at Leeds, for instance? I remember on watching the game, and as soon as Liverpool had gone two goals up, like millions of people up and down the country, I've said, game over. Yeah. But it wasn't, because that was Liverpool of the past, not Liverpool of the present.
Do Liverpool have any other choice here, Ali, but to back Arne Slot? I mean, they've come out, you know, recently and said that they're giving him his full backing. And is there any way back here for Salah and Arne Slot?
You cannot do anything other than publicly back the manager unless you're getting rid of him.
Olivia, thank you very much indeed.
Thanks, Olivia.
Part-time, you're off now.
It's not my choice, guys. Not my choice. I'm just doing what I'm told, you know.
And that was a look at today's back pages with Tesco Mobile for Business. Max has texted, Donald Trump had a version of that Sinead O'Connor song, but changed it, nothing compares to me. Coming up, we turn our attention back to Aston Villa and whether we can genuinely say their title contenders. That's next.
That's good.
Back page review on talkSPORT with Tesco Mobile for Business. Are you a freelancer? Get business phone bills for up to 40% less than the big mobile networks. For terms and verification, visit tescomobile.com/business.
Let's be honest, we've all found ourselves raging at a referee's decision at some stage. Something like this?
That is an absolutely shocking decision.
They've got a case in that it was a bad decision.
It's such a poor decision.
Yeah, I think he's just made a bad decision in that instance.
But what does it take to get to the very top level of football refereeing? You can apply to become a referee through your local county FA from as soon as your 14th birthday. After spending several hours either in the classroom or on the pitch, they'll grant you level 7 status, which allows you to officiate amateur games. Then you'll work your way through the ranks of amateur football, not reaching the National League until level 2. It's a long process, bearing in mind every level from 7 upwards takes an average of a year. Also, there's no specific number of games you have to ref or hours you have to log before moving on up. You simply just have to be good enough. Once you're level 2 and have enough experience at a National League level, you can apply to the EFL to become a level 1 referee. Then it's on you to get enough experience to climb through the ranks and eventually become a Premier League referee. In total, there are 37,000 registered referees across England, but the PGMOL has only deemed 21 good enough to officiate games in the top flight. So if you want to make it to the top, there's less than a 1 in 1,000 chance of doing it, and it'll take you a decade to get there.
Yeah, a very good morning to you. 6:36. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with the Arnold Clark app. Everything for your car, all in one place. Download it today. I'm Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist is with me. Now, it's time to talk Aston Villa. Surely. They couldn't win the title, could they?
And it's rifled in by Buendia. The title race has just been blown up. Arsenal's 18-game unbeaten run is over.
You expect to be here with 10 points clear and on holidays in December in the Premier League at this level. I think you have a problem.
Aston Villa were not scared of Arsenal. Arsenal aren't as good as what people are thinking. They're really not.
The reason Aston Villa won it is because Gabriel and Saliba both weren't playing.
I celebrated when they scored.
Stupid song. One second. If you ever...
Aston Villa can beat anyone on the day. They beat Manchester City recently, and we're talking about Manchester City are coming to get you, Arsenal.
City deserve all 3 points. Man City 3, Sunderland 0.
We'll compete, we'll be there. Winning or no, I don't know, but we'll be there.
Arsenal, I believe, I said at the start of the season, I'm not going to change that I think they will win the title because of the strength in depth.
Merry Christmas, everyone, because Villa have just given the rest of the Premier League a proper title race.
So, having failed to score a single goal in the first 4 Premier League games, Villa now 3 points off the top of the table, beaten the leaders Arsenal at the weekend. They're coping with Europa League football as well. They've overcome all the issues involving PSR and with the likes of Emi Martinez as well. Coisty, you were there. This is nothing short of miraculous, is it?
Ah, they were great. They were great. I'll tell you where I am with it, Jeff, right? The question is, can Aston Villa win the league? Yes, is the answer to that. There's no doubt about it. Will they win it? No, I don't think they will, because I still think Arsenal will win it. You know, looking at it from both points of... In terms of the league, for people like you and I, brilliant it was. It was a brilliant result. And it was one of these games, you know, if it had been a draw, nobody would probably really have complained, although, as I said, I thought Villa better first half and finished the game better. But see, if you're an Arsenal fan, I wouldn't be too downbeat, Jeff. I genuinely wouldn't. 2 defeats they've had, an incredible free kick from Szoboszlai in the top corner, and a 94th minute Buendia goal. So, you know, that can happen in football. I thought Odegaard played heck of a well at the weekend, and obviously Trossard going off, scoring and going off. So there's a lot of factors to take in. But the fact of the matter is, Arsenal have been great this season. There's no doubt about it. But we've said it all along, Jeff. They haven't won anything yet. I still think their squad is strong enough to compete on every front, and I'm not sure Villa is. But Villa's 11, 12, 13, 14 are more than capable and more than a match for anybody, as we saw at the weekend. I thought it was a great game.
It was. And I agree. I mean, I looked at the Villa bench at the weekend, and on that bench, 18-year-old George Hemmings, Andres Garcia, who's made 5 Premier League starts, Victor Lindelof, who came on but hasn't started for them, reserve goalkeeper as well, and I completely agree with you. But those on the pitch, I mean, apart from Martinez, who was excellent once again, Cash, Konsa, McGinn, Tillemans, Anana, Morgan Rogers, goodness me, they have been superb, and they have none of those players would be out of place, would they, in a title-winning side?
Oh no, not at all. Absolutely not at all. I stand by it. I think the first 11, 12, 13, 14 players, you know, more than capable. Well, they've seen it, Jeff. They've won 9 out of 10 in the hardest league in the world, and that is very, very difficult to do. But you did mention one player that I think is absolutely vital for them, and it's the goalkeeper. I think the goalkeeper, again at the weekend, he had one save where he just got a fingertip to it, which was absolutely remarkable. I think it might have been from Odegaard when he came in and hit it with his left foot. I think you've mentioned some great players there, and I totally agree with you. Cash, again, a couple of great efforts, gets his goal. Middle of the park, they're strong, and across that, McGinn, Tielemans and Rogers, different class, it really is. But if you ask me who I think their key player out of all those key players, it'd probably be the goalkeeper, mate.
Yeah, I couldn't argue with that. But the key figure at the football club, you have to say, is the manager.
Yes.
So, he won the Europa League 3 times with Seville, once with Villarreal. He was runner-up in the Europa League with Arsenal. He won the French League with PSG.
Yep.
Finished 5th with Arsenal, by the way, as well in the Premier League. Took over at Villa on November the 22nd, 2 places above relegation. They ended up in Europe that season and made the Champions League the next season.
Yep.
So my question, Coisty, would be, where does he stand in terms of current top managers? Is he in the absolute top echelon? Is he just one below that at the moment?
One below for me. And the only reason I'm saying that is, I think the top, you look at boys like, you know, well, the perfect example right at the top would be Ancelotti. You know, I don't think you can compare to Ancelotti, right? So therefore, I think you have to be one below that. And by the way, that's not a crime, and it doesn't mean you aren't a good coach, because he is absolutely top class. Unai Emery is a top class operator, Jeff. There is no doubt about that. But if you're talking about the elite of the elite, you know, when you're winning the 5 top leagues and you're winning the Champions League as a player and a manager and a coach, like Ancelotti's done, I think he's, you know, the level, or he's the guide for the highest level. And I don't think he's there, to be honest with you. But that said, he is he is without doubt one of the best coaches around at this moment in time. And Aston Villa are very lucky to have him. And do you know something? Listening to him and watching him, I think he's absolutely thrilled with what he's got and the way things are going at Aston Villa. Although he's probably still, like a lot of managers, a little bit upset. He could be probably doing one or two more players to strengthen his squad.
And I completely agree with that as well. But what I love about him is that he's a winner.
Yes.
And in the game against Arsenal, the changes he made were so aggressive. 87 minutes. You know, you're 1-1 against the Tide, who's top of the table. You take off Matty Cash and you put on Emi Buendia. I mean, that takes some bottle and some attitude.
100%. You are absolutely right. And I even mentioned, I was watching the game, I was looking at the substitutions and I went, fair play. You know, because if it goes the other way, you can get a little bit of criticism. But you're right, he was 100% focused on winning that game of football.
Yeah. And by the way, whether they win the league or not, at the moment, you know, 5 points clear of Chelsea, 7 points clear of Liverpool in terms of Champions League, the bigger picture, if you like, which most people at the start of the season would have said was beyond Aston Villa. Well, it certainly isn't beyond Villa right now. That's a key period coming up for them, isn't it? That period over Christmas where they go to Chelsea and they go to Arsenal just, 3 days after that. But I have to say, this is a Villa side playing with so much confidence and such a lack of fear. You do wonder if they could go there and upset them both.
Wouldn't be the biggest surprise in the world, would it? I'll try to have a quick look. I think they've got West Ham and United coming up as well. I mean, their games are massive. But the fact, I think, Jeff, was even more remarkable about the whole situation. Unless I'm mistaken, I don't think they scored a goal in their first 4 games.
No, they didn't. They didn't.
I mean, what a turnaround! Yeah. What a turnaround! And I've got to say, I thought Watkins played well, but I thought the substitution, Daniel Malin, I just thought he gave them a different problem when he came on, Jeff. He was in their faces. He was aggressive. He was taking it in. I thought the substitutions, Unai Emery's substitutions overall, were absolutely of a high standard. I definitely think Arsenal, missing the centre backs, I don't think there's any doubt about that. You know, I thought right at the start, looking at it, that I definitely think they're stronger than they've been, you know, with a squad of centre-backs, but I can still see a gap between their top 2 and the rest.
Yeah, I mean, there's no question. No question at all that injuries are taking a toll on Arsenal, with, you know, particularly the centre-backs, the 3 of them as it is now. And then Trossard, who came off the bench, scored, and then went off injured again. So no doubt about that. But from a Villa perspective, well, let's hear from Unai Emery, shall we? Because after that last kick victory over Arsenal, he was asked what Villa's targets are for the league campaign.
To compete game by game, which teams are contended to be, and how we can get our demand, our consistency through each match in 30 matches. And of course now we are in really good position. 2 months ago we were in the bottom, And of course now we are feeling better, feeling stronger, feeling confidence. The players, they are as well increasing their level. We are setting our standard high. We are our level setting high in everything, and try to be fluent.
Darren has texted in with a really interesting question on this, Ali.
Yep.
He says, as a Palace fan, another cracking win for us, but talking of Arsenal, do you think Unai Emery would have won the league at Arsenal already had they not got rid of him in the fashion they did?
Oh.
What great question.
Oh, it's a brilliant question. Oh, Jeff, I'm not sure. I actually don't know. I genuinely don't know. I really don't know. You're effectively asking, the question is, could he have handled that squad of better players better than Mikel Arteta? And the answer is, I don't know. I genuinely don't know.
Look, let's just round this off by asking you a far less in-depth question, a much more simplistic one. Where will Villa finish?
Third.
Okay. Third, says Ally McCoist for Aston Villa. I think most Aston Villa fans would bite your hand off for that.
Yeah.
Right, still to come on breakfast.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Download the new improved app to easily manage your accounts and quotes.
We'll have plenty of reaction to Lando Norris's maiden F1 world title and England's Ashes collapse. And of course, more reaction to Mo Salah's comments following that Leeds draw. Graeme Souness will tell us what he thinks at just after 9. That was our look ahead, all thanks to Travis Perkins.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Get free next day track delivery. Head to travisperkins.co.uk or download the app.
So, we are almost ready to go. Ian Danter here in the commentary box. But it is all about whether Dean Saunders can retain the talkSPORT World Championship. To win the leg. She's got it! Gets it! Double 9! He refuses the handshake.
Good morning, 6:52. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling and Ally McCoist. Now, talkSPORT has teamed up with Pitch Experiences to bring you an all-out VIP experience at the PDC World Darts Championships at the Ali Pali on December the 23rd.
They certainly have, Jeff. You and three mates could be living at large with platinum seats, fine dining, a complimentary bar and exclusive access to the 501 lounge with Russ the Voice Bray. Then it's straight to your prime table for the best view in the house as the darts drama unfolds. Get ready for an unforgettable Ali Pali Christmas. Here's how to enter.
For your chance to win, text DARTS to 83338. Text costs £2 plus your standard network rate, or call 0343 421 7508. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 18th of December. That's when you'll need to answer your phone if it rings. 18 plus, UK residents only. So for your chance to win again, text DARTS right now to 83338. This is a network promotion. Full T's and C's at talksport.com. Right, let's have a bit of this.
How can you not love the EFL when it throws up moments like this?
Here's Hawk! Deeney!
Ball's come back to Zamora!
Tick off again! City fans can't believe it. What a match! Windass! Quite simply destined to be from Team Windass.
We're in London. Hey, we're in London, aren't we?
Leeds can beat you 4-1. They're a fantastic team. But we had someone in the bushes that day twice this season now.
No sirve para nada.
I didn't know I would have such a reaction.
That ghosting Edwin in on Saturday. We didn't defend properly, you great chicken nuggets.
We hear that Jimmy Glass, the goalkeeper, has scored for Carlisle.
You just never know which twist any game is going to turn next.
Must I forever be...
Time for a very quick counter through the EFLers. Starting in the Championship, Coventry's lead 7 points now.
Yeah.
After a 3-0 home defeat against Ipswich, just their second loss of the season. I love Frank Lampard's positivity afterwards, though. He said the first half, he said we were great organisation and work ethic. Everything was great. We restricted them. Things changed in the second half. Ipswich on a roll up to fourth. No sooner did Blackburn Rovers replay their game against Ipswich, which was abandoned after 79 minutes for waterlogging, then their game against Sheffield Wednesday is abandoned after an hour for waterlogging.
Oh, no.
With Blackburn a goal to 0 up. At least they know they're not only going to be playing the last half an hour, because
that's
the
true.
rules have been set there, haven't they, really? Millwall stay third, 1-0 win at Bristol City. I don't know if you saw it, Coisty.
I did, mate. What was going on there?
Mass brawl with staff
What was
and players.
happening?
Well, seemingly all over whether there was a handshake or not a handshake between the two managers, and which of the managers, if either, was to blame. Then City's Jason Knight came barrelling in, pushing Alex Neil. And it all came after tempers were running high after a late City equaliser was controversially ruled out. But it's one of the biggest mass brawls I can ever remember on a football pitch.
I saw it. I'm not sure. I was more of a mass coming together, Jeff. I'm not sure there was a lot of punches thrown, a brawl. Now, you and I have both seen brawls in the past.
Well, we've been involved in them.
But it was certainly a very interesting coming together, mate.
That's what these things are always like, isn't it?
Correct.
You know, 30 of them pile in, and once they've got there, they don't really know what to do. You know. Anyway, it was amazing. In League Two, another bad day for Plymouth. Lost their sixth league game in 7 at home to Bradford City. They stay
1-0.
Second from bottom. Yeah, 1-0.
Cardiff go top.
There. Yeah. Let's just briefly touch on the FA Cup. I know you're doing the draw for the third round, Coisty. I hope you've taken some hints from Johnny and Donny in that World Cup draw.
I think you'll find, Jeff, I'm more Rod Stewart than Johnny and Donny, mate.
Oh, well, that would be fantastic, mate. We'd all love that again, wouldn't we? So, look, Jack Wilshere not finding things all his own way at the moment, is he? Luton going out of the FA Cup, beaten on penalties at League Two Fleetwood. Bit of a blow for them. Big weekend for Weston-super-Mare. I mean, it's not traditionally a footballing hub, is it? With the best will in the world. They play in the National League South. They've reached the third round of the FA Cup for the first time in their 138-year history. Brilliant. With a 2-0 win at fellow non-leaguers Chelmsford. So good luck for them. And Boreham Wood thumped League Two bottom club Newport 3-0. Coisty, Christian Fuchs in charge at Newport.
I saw
his
that.
First managerial job.
Yeah.
Goodness me. Talk about a baptism of fire.
Oh, dear me, yeah. Newport, they had a great run. Was it a couple of years ago? I'm trying to think who they played at home. It's a big team.
They've had some big games. They played Tottenham at home, didn't they?
Yeah, that's right. That's what it was. Tottenham. I remember playing Tottenham at home, mate.
But you know, I take my hat off to Christian Fuchs. Obviously, he's a Premier League winner with Leicester City. You know, willing to start in managerial terms down at the bottom. I mean, they're in trouble. You know, they're tailed off at the bottom of League Two at the moment. Boreham Wood are a decent side, and Luke Garrard, their manager, is a very, very, very good manager at that level. Surprised he hasn't had a chance higher up, to be honest.
Yeah.
Just before we leave EFLers, Gribbo, the Charlton fans, just texted something that you will have read about in the papers. The Charlton game at the weekend, was abandoned during the course of it after the death of a spectator. That spectator was Norman Barker. Headphones Norm, he was known as, and he sadly passed away at the Valley on Saturday, which led to the game being abandoned. He was an institution at the Valley and on all Charlton fans' travels as well. Gribbo calls him one of the most unconditional, genuine people you could ever meet. Rest in peace, Norm. And Gribbo, we all echo that. And I was very pleased the clubs did the right thing.
Correct.
In the end.
Correct.
Coming up, we'll turn our attention back to Mo Salah and whether we've seen him in a Liverpool shirt for the last time. We'll discuss that next.
Life after football. For a lot of players, it means going into punditry. Some turn to coaching or working in the game in other ways. But what about the rest? Some former footballers turn their sights away from the game, and there are a few big surprises. First up, from rainbow flicks to pancake flips. Ex-Chelsea and Southampton defender Ken Monku switched up his footballing career to buy a Dutch pancake house. He bought out the shop, which had been his favourite pancake spot as a child, and before long he was mixing the batter and getting behind the stove. Next, Everton legend Thomas Gravesen swapped out the high stakes of the Premier League for those of the poker room. He made over 150 appearances for the Toffees and won the Scottish Premier League with Celtic. Turned out the Danish international was pretty darn good at poker. He racked up a reported £100 million from his Las Vegas adventures. Remember former Chelsea goalkeeper Petr Cech? Turns out football nets weren't the only goals he was pretty handy in front of. After retirement, he became a goaltender in ice hockey. Same skills, very different surface. And he even won a Division 2 title with Guildford Phoenix. For ex-Liverpool centre-back Daniel Agger, it wasn't just fancy footwork that was in his blood. He was also pretty good with his hands. The Denmark international turned to tattoo artistry after he hung up his boots. He'd qualified as a skin artist while at Anfield, and he then became the co-owner of his own tattoo company as well. It's not all glamour for ex-pros, though. 1966 World Cup winner Ray Wilson set up a very different kind of business. He became an undertaker after he retired. Finally, not many people can say they've won both a World Cup and starred in an Oscar-winning film. In fact, there's only one person in the entire world who can say that. Frank Leboeuf, the former Chelsea defender, was part of the 1998 France squad who won the World Cup. He ended up marking Brazil's Ronaldo in the final and helped his side to a 3-0 win. But Leboeuf had already begun acting on the side while he was playing football, and his biggest role came some years after his retirement when he landed the part of a doctor in the Stephen Hawking biopic The Theory of Everything.
I embrace the career of acting, so I want to learn more. So seeing lots of movies is a part of my job.
To be honest, with all the dramatic diving in the game these days, there's probably tons of ex-pros who've got the acting skills to make it in Hollywood.
Good morning to you. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with Arnold Clark at the UK's best used car deals guaranteed. I'm Jeff Stelling. Ally McCoist is with me. Coist, you're getting a bit of stick.
No.
This morning you are. Yeah, a couple of people have asked this question. He said, morning guys, I'm watching on YouTube and an observation I've made is Ali doing the show in his pants or his PJs?
I'll have you know they're very trendy. I know I shouldn't give a very well-known sporting brand name. Okay. They're shorts because I'm going to go on the bike after this. Okay, yeah. They're certainly not my PJs.
Right, and N, just N, said, ask Ali where he got his haircut. I'd like to open a hat shop beside his barber.
That's a bit strong.
A bit harsh, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't mind it though. Probably factually correct.
On the way for you this morning, we'll ask the former England player Mark Butcher if England heading towards a humiliation down under will spell the end of Bazball. And we'll react to Lando Norris becoming F1 champion with someone who started him on his journey as a kid. His former karting coach Rob Dodds. Kevin Sinfield will join us after completing his incredible 7-in-7 ultra-marathon challenge in honour of Rob Burrows raising funds for MND. And legendary Liverpool skipper Graeme Souness will give us his thoughts on Mo Salah dropping that bombshell on Saturday.
I have done so much for this club. Everybody can see that. Sitting in a bench, I don't know why. It seems like a club is throwing me under the bus.
And he has suggested that Liverpool's game against Brighton next weekend at Anfield could be his last for the club.
Do they back Mo Salah or do they back Arne Slot?
Are we getting to the stage, and I think we clearly are, that Mo Salah now becomes a problem that you've got to remove?
It's a slightly dangerous road to go down if you're saying, right, the highest paid player at the club effectively is picking the manager.
It kind of distracts really from the main problem at Liverpool at the moment, which is, what to do about the manager.
I don't think he's out the Liverpool team because someone's trying to forcibly remove him from the club. It's because he hasn't been performing to his best levels.
He's got no divine right to be picked for Liverpool. Sense of entitlement is absolutely mind-blowing.
Simply not justifying a place in the side that is falling off a cliff and the pressure is absolutely piling on. They need leaders, not division.
The media agenda is always to look for a split, and what Mo's done has just fuelled this onto another level. I don't think it leaves the club in any position other than to discipline him.
He can't be involved in the squad after that. He may well have played his last game for Liverpool.
May well have played his last game for Liverpool. Well, let's get the thoughts of the Daily Mail's Merseyside writer, Dom King, on just that. Morning, Dom.
Good morning, Dom.
Morning, Jeff. Morning, Ali.
Dom, is that right? Is he done at Liverpool?
Honestly, I couldn't answer that. I couldn't give you a definitive answer on that at the moment. I just think it is a remarkable situation. It's so very sad. It's so very unnecessary.
Yep.
It's so uncalled for at this moment in time. I don't know. I do know what's prompted it. I mean, it's his own frustration. I mean, if you've been watching Mo down the years, you'll know he only tends to speak at times when he wants something or he feels like he needs something. So last year at Southampton, the year before at West Ham, there was a 4 years ago this week, there was an episode where he'd spoke on I think it was one of the Arabic TV channels, talking about a new contract and hoping that he was going to stay. So this is what he does. The wording this time, though, is being far removed from anything that I've seen, and it's the thrown under the bus comment that has bothered me more than anything, because he hasn't been playing well. It's that simple. Ali, I think was it last week I was talking to you about Salah, and I said the thing that's so strange about it at the minute is that he set such standards that he's almost human at the moment. We've been so used to like 40 goals, 30 goals that all of a sudden he's having a dip and everybody thinks, oh, hang on, what's going on here?
Correct. And I'm with you and everything you've said, Dom. I mean, I find it actually bizarre why, in a time where Liverpool, the one thing I think we're all in agreement that they need is unity between the players, the staff, the fans, everybody. He has just thrown a hand grenade right in that and made it about himself, which, for the life of me, I can't understand, Dom. I really can't. Nobody is doubting. No, what's not for debate is his talent and what he's achieved and what he's been to the league and Liverpool. But why, Dom? Why would you make it about himself?
The only thing that I can see here is that he's trying to get a move away as early as January. That's the only thing. That's the only thing that can be behind this. That he's that unhappy that he wants to go as soon as the transfer window opens. Now, I was thinking about this. If he's basically trying to put an ultimatum on Liverpool, which is like, he's either saying back me or back the manager, and they back the manager and he goes, well, if he stays and the manager goes, well, Liverpool are into the territory of being Chelsea or Manchester United in terms of the dressing rooms. We don't want to, how many times have we seen it with those places where, no, we don't like the manager, we weren't going to get it, we won't play for him for a few weeks, he'll get sacked, we'll be here long after him. That doesn't work. That doesn't happen at Liverpool. I've never seen a Liverpool player call it on like this and stay. I just don't think there's unless he sees sense and people have got round him and said to him, "This is ridiculous what you've said. Nobody's doubting you. You just aren't in the team for playing well," and he takes that on board. Yeah. Then it gets sorted out. But if he's that set in his mind that it has to change, then the only thing that they can possibly do is get the best fee for him.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a surprise in some respects. This, his form the statement is obviously his form this season. You saw at the end of last season, actually. I mean, 4 in his last 14 last season. But when he says things like, and there are so many bits, Dom, we could pick out of this. But when he says, I had a good relationship with the manager, suddenly we don't have any relationship. If you are Arne Slot in that situation, you want him as far away from that dressing room as possible, don't you?
Yeah, I don't see how he can travel to Milan or or play against Brighton next week, because if he's around, he creates a circus and he creates an issue. The manager's going to be asked about it anyway.
Yeah, of course.
It's going to be the narrative this week. But if he's around, it sort of exacerbates everything, and I don't think that would be the right move. However, I'm not Arne Slot. He might have a totally different idea. He might have Liverpool are training at 11:45 today before they go to Milan. It could be he's out with the team and he travels later on. We just don't know that at this moment in time. But part of me would understand what he says about the lack of relationship, and that is a very, very strong comment to make. But I know that when Arne Slot is picking his teams and he's got the nucleus of his squad, I think he tends to focus on the players that he's using for that particular game. So if Salah hasn't been in the starting lineup for the last 3 matches, and he hasn't been involved in the sort of minutiae of tactics and team plans and set pieces and things like that, then you could almost sort of see what has fueled him to say that. But I think it is, I have got to stress, it is too strong. It is too strong, and it's too incendiary a thing to come out and say at this moment in time. And I actually can't believe we're having this discussion about... I mean, you both know how many times I've been on this show over the years and how often I have spoken about Mo Salah. Yeah. He is one of the greatest players I have seen for Liverpool. He will be someone, God willing, I'll be telling grandkids about. He is extraordinary. I've seen where I went over to Egypt 8 years ago and seen the little village in the Grig where he's come from. His story is absolutely inspirational. But so that is why for where we are now is causing so much drama and so much angst for everybody.
Yeah. Listen, just a quick one, Dom. It would be remiss of us not to mention the Merseyside rivals at this moment in time. High-flying Everton. What a result again at the weekend, eh?
Yeah, I was there on Saturday, Ali. Spoke to David after the game. He was absolutely delighted with that that result, more so than the performance, because that was a difficult game. That was a challenging. Nottingham Forest are challenging opponents, and yeah, Sean Dyche could say that they didn't play particularly well, but they weren't allowed to play well because Everton imposed themselves on them. First half was a bit difficult, but the second half was excellent. I want to give little sort of mentions to a couple of unheralded players like James Garner and Jake O'Brien. They're becoming mainstays in this team. They're the type of characters that will really benefit from being around David and wanting to improve. And as we always say, the league table does not lie. They're fifth place on merit, 12 points from the last 15, and they're flying along nicely.
Yeah. Yeah. Dom, thank you very much indeed.
Thanks, Dom.
Busy week ahead for you, mate.
See you soon.
Cheers. Liverpool fans, let's hear from you. 03717223344. We'll be getting the thoughts of the legendary Liverpool skipper Graeme Souness just after 9. Jed has texted, said, "Morning, lads. How do you think the likes of Chiesa, young Rio, Ekateke, Joe Gomez, etc. feel when they're sitting on the bench and Salah's been getting a start ahead of them? They've said nothing. I don't know about throwing him under a bus. They should just lash him in an Uber to John Lennon Airport." No question about which side Jed is on. And some breaking news coming in from Griffin Kingsley, and he said, "Morning, lads." He said, "I've just heard that Martin Keown has named Bukayo Saka as man of the match in their next game." Thank you very much indeed for that, Griff. Coming up, we'll be joined by iconic Australian cricket writer Malcolm Conn, who after the first test...
no, Malcolm's he's not coming on again. He's going to give us it again.
Yeah. Well, he called England after that first test a bunch of marshmallows. Brilliant description. I wonder what he's going to say after the second test.
almost ready to go. Ian Danter here in the commentary box. It is all about whether Dean Saunders can retain the talkSPORT World Championship.
To win the leg. She's got it! Gets it! Double nine! He refuses the handshake.
Good morning to you. This is talkSPORT Breakfast, 7:20. I'm Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist is with us. Very predictably, England beaten on day 4 of the second test of the Ashes. An 8-wicket victory for Australia. And afterwards, Brendan McCullum, I thought he was taking the mickey. I have to be honest. He said they were possibly over-prepared. Former England fast bowler Steve Harmison compared him to a former Premier League manager.
Hear lots about Bazball, and we're getting beaten well before the end of test matches. It's like Brendan McCullum's the Ange Postecoglou of cricket now. It's just attack, attack, attack. No defence whatsoever. And hey, it'll come good somewhere along the line. Surely there's got to be a bit more science to it.
Yeah, I'm pleased you said that, Sean, because I've been wanting to say that for a couple of weeks now, and I didn't really want to disrespect Brendan McCullum by calling him Ange Postecoglou, but I think you're spot on. I think England have got this one way of playing, and unfortunately, I mean, it's not one sort of one way fits all in all different conditions. And as for Baz, yeah, McCullum, they have this way of playing. I said on our show yesterday, the England team mantra, Stokes says it a lot, McCullum says it a lot, we run towards danger. And I said I'm following on Ash's inquest last night, which you can hear in about 20 minutes. I mean, you wouldn't run towards a lion if you stand in the middle of the road, would you? I mean, it's embarrassing.
I thought for a moment that Steve Harmison had morphed into Sean Custis, so I was relieved to hear his voice in the end. Look, let's get more on this now with an Australian perspective. We're joined by somebody who predicted a 5-0 whitewash on breakfast last month. Might not be far off. Good morning to cricket journalist Malcolm Conn. Morning, Malcolm.
Morning, Malcolm.
Morning, gentlemen. Great to be here.
Yeah, look, Malcolm, well, obviously, shambles so far. Is one of the issues down to the fact that in England cricket terms, there appears to be no accountability? Play a bad shot, play a reckless shot, and the management of the team, the captain of the team, shrug their shoulders and say, never mind, boys, you gave it a good go.
I just think they're so addicted to the cult of Bazball that they can't react according to the conditions or the circumstances, and when they do, it's too late. I mean, you saw Stokes and Jacks sort of hang around for a couple of hours and try to make something of it, but by then the horse had well and truly bolted. So it strikes me that they're muddled in the mind. That with the exception of Joe Root, who's an exceptional cricketer, and good on him for making his first 100 in Australia after his 99th attempt or whatever it was, but outside him, he's the only adult in the room, and all the other kids buggered off, and we ended up with an entirely predictable situation. So, yeah, I think that they're completely muddled in the way they go about it.
Malcolm, I said to Jeff earlier on the programme, I think it's quite straightforward from where I'm sitting, Malcolm. I just think we can look at the ins and outs and the technicalities of it, but effectively, the Australians are better with the bat and they're better with the ball.
It's a bit disconcerting when they're better with the ball when they've only got one frontline bowler, isn't it? I mean, if you have a look at it, they've got a few Sheffield Shield trundlers in there at the moment propping up Mitchell Starc. So it's going to be interesting to see when the big boys come back in the next game in Adelaide. Cummins is coming back. Lyon will be back because it's a day game, not a day-night game. And we'll get some serious cricket then. They've only been playing around with you at the moment.
Jonathan Agnew said this week, Mark, Bazball is dead. Is it dead? Should it be dead?
Well, I think it's just been a myth. I just think that they haven't been good enough to play Test cricket on Test cricket's terms. They've decided that they're just going to play merry and throw the bat around and have a good time. And on flat decks it can work and they can look like a bunch of heroes, but they actually haven't won anything. They haven't won a World Test. They haven't made a World Test Championship final, which is hosted in England. At 3 attempts. They haven't won an Ashes series, so they couldn't beat India after leading that series. You've got to look at a bloke like Harry Brook, who's been made vice-captain, and if you look at the way he chucked his wicket away, I know he made a terrific 100, but he chucked his wicket away when England were marching towards victory against India in that last test, which would have given them a series win. And he's doing the same thing out here. So, and then when he tries to defend, he can't. So I just think they've been exposed as pretenders, really.
Malcolm, tell me, I don't think the Aussies have lost 3 consecutive home tests in about 38 years, whatever it may be. Would it now be a major, how would the Australians looking on it right now, would it be a major disappointment if there's not a whitewash?
Well, they'd be very disappointed, yeah. I mean, I have said I think that I thought it might be 4-0 because it might rain in Sydney, as it often does, but it'd be very disappointing if you consider that most of the Australian attack haven't been playing. Cummins will come back fresh. Lyon will come back determined to show that he deserves his place in the team. Starc has been exceptional, and their batting's been solid. I mean, I think that the one thing we can give England credit for is taking the match into a 4th day by dropping 5 catches and making sure that Australia got 500. So at least Cricket Australia didn't lose a couple of $1 million by the match being over in 2 days. So that was probably about the highlight of the game, I would have thought, in terms of England getting it into a 4th day.
What's the Australian perspective then when you hear, during and after the game? First of all, Marcus Trescothick saying the preparation was absolutely fine, and then Brendan McCullum saying England may have been over-prepared.
Over-prepared for what? They dropped 5 catches and a couple of them were absolute sodas. I mean, if your kid dropped that in the under-12s, you'd have him out the back chucking balls at him. It's I mean, they play a lot of golf and they seem to drink a bit of beer when they're playing golf and they have a good time. And look, I hope they do enjoy Australia. I mean, the cricket's probably getting in the way. But I don't know how they can be over-prepared when they've played the way they've played.
Absolutely no chance in the 3rd test, Malcolm. Do you give England any hope at all?
No.
Do you think we can take it to a 5th day, though, Malcolm?
No. Unless it rains. But that's probably in Sydney. You might go 5 days in Sydney.
Brilliant. Malcolm, thank you so much, mate.
Thanks again, mate.
I tell you what, Coisty, it is a daunting prospect as well, isn't it? Because Cummins will come back.
Oh, he will come back.
Malcolm's absolutely right. Nathan Lyon, a pitcher's going to be, more accepting of spin. Nathan Lyon is the best of the spinners, no doubt about that, especially on home territory.
Starc's been tremendous, Jeff, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He's been absolutely tremendous. He really has.
I mean, look, we've got to mention Sir Geoffrey Boycott. Not afraid of speaking his mind, even if he is a has-been in the minds of some of the England cricket hierarchy. He says they are up their own backsides. Okay.
Go on, Geoffrey, lad.
Luke from Warrington says, myself and the majority of Liverpool fans I've spoken to are with Mo Salah. Slot's been here for 1 season and won the league with Jurgen Klopp's team. His own system and tactics are mediocre. Mo is one of the greatest players that we have ever had. It is a non-contest. 037 1722 3344. You can have your say on Liverpool, or you can have your say on whether Bazball is all over. Has it all become terribly unlikable and a bit predictable as well? Coming up, we turn our attention to some good English sports news, some good British sports news, you should say, really, and the maiden F1 title of Lando Norris. That's next.
What football ground are you thinking of when someone says this?
Really tough place to go. Difficult place to go. Such a tough place to go.
It's a tough place to go at the moment.
It was a really difficult place to go.
But what are the toughest places to go, really? We've had a look. Forget a cold, wet Tuesday night in Stoke. Try a blizzard 220 miles inside the Arctic Circle. When Chelsea lost at Tromsø in Norway in the Cup Winners' Cup, a massive snowstorm hit at half-time. These two boys and their brooms were absolutely no match for it. We're staying in Scandinavia for Scotland's toughest away day on the side of a cliff in the Faroe Islands in Euro 2000 qualifying. The pitch at Toftir was like a cow field, never mind those gale force winds. The Faroe Islands part-timers equalised in stoppage time. Cue Scandi scenes. But away trips don't come tougher than playing Bolivia at altitude in La Paz. Or so we thought. The Bolivians have now taken home advantage to another level, literally 500 metres further up the Andes to the country's highest city, El Alto, 4,100 metres above sea level. Meanwhile, the loudest stadium in world football officially is the Ali Sami Yen, where Galatasaray fans set a world record of 131 decibels. That's louder than Motorhead. But our most intimidating away day is in Wales. Prison team HMP Prescoed was briefly kicked out the Gwent League over concerns about young opposition having to go in there. Now that's a tough place to go.
Good morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist, and the Arnold Clark app. Everything for your car, all in one place. Download it today. Greeno, the postie, has been on. It's a little update for you, mate. The people of Columpton haven't stepped up yet, Jeff. They're Grinches here. We've been talking about tipping your postie at Christmas. Come on, Columpton. Step up to the plate. Greeno also says, by the way, hoping my local team Exeter get a good draw in the Cup tonight. And a shout out to Western Supermare, first time ever in the third round. Absolutely right, first time ever in the third round in 138 years. And Exeter, of course, we know what the FA Cup did for them. It saved them in the past with a tie against Manchester United. They have some financial problems themselves right now. So we all hope they get a fantastic draw.
Here.
Right, let's take a quick call. Mo Salah dominating the headlines this morning. Is his Liverpool career over? Let's speak to Jonathan, who's a Liverpool fan. Morning, Jonathan.
Morning, Jonathan.
Morning, lads. Great show as always. Thank you for having me on.
Thanks, you, mate.
Jonathan.
So whose side of the fence are you sitting on? Are you sitting with the club and Arne Slot or Mo Salah?
Oh, come on, Jeff. They're being a bit naughty here. Salah is a club legend. He goes down. You've got Dalglish, you've got Gerrard, you've probably got Salah third on that list. This lad has single-handedly carried the football club through, some average times. He's won us the league last season with an unbelievable performance. Are you honestly saying that he's the problem? Drop him one game, no problems. Most of the fans I speak to, went to the last few games I've been to, he's underperformed. Yeah, he looks affected. Is it Jota? Who knows? Drop him again, fine. Drop him a third time, that's making a statement. Now, the club have released some statements through Joyce, etc., absolutely trying to nail him. It's not Mo. It's taken the focus right off Arne Slot, and that's very, very naughty. Let's go back to Slot. What's he done in the last 10 games? I think it's the worst run in 70, 71 years, something like that. This is not on Mo Salah. Absolutely not on Mo Salah. I looked at some stats yesterday, and I think he's second in terms of assists, second in terms of balls into the box. He's world class. He's having a bad season, but it's not his fault. And to make him the scapegoat, he's absolutely right. His English gets lost a little bit because obviously he's Egyptian, but his point is valid. Don't make him the scapegoat. I won't have it. I will not. I'll defend him. Honestly, I will.
Jonathan, so you reckon because he's been left out the team due to poor performances, he's been made a scapegoat?
What he's saying is, Ali, he's saying, I've earned the right not to be in the team. What he's trying to say is, I've earned the right to judge me. I'm not a new player. I've not been here a season. Slot's been here 1 year, okay? Yeah. And he's made all these changes, and we're not working now. And now the argument is, yeah, has he won it with the Jurgen team? I'll leave that for another day. What Mo's saying is, judge me not on this season. Judge me. Where's the loyalty? We're a loyal club. Where's the loyalty? Yeah, I've been here 8 years, and I've never let you down. And the first second that I have a bad run, a little bad run, you blame me? What about the coach? What about all the other players?
But Jonathan, they're not blaming him. They're not blaming him. He's been left out the team due to poor form. I agree with him. You said he has been unbelievable, arguably one of the best. That's not up for debate. Take the coach out of the situation. Take Arne Slot completely out of the situation. In my opinion, Mo Salah on current form probably doesn't deserve to play in the Liverpool side.
Okay, does Canate and does Gakpo?
No, but I made the point. I made the point to Jeff, Jonathan. I made the point to Jeff, and I might be wrong, and you might disagree with it. I think it's easier to drop Mo Salah. He deserves to be dropped because you've got other players in those areas. I think it's harder. Now, I'm not saying Van Dijk and Karate's form has been good, because it's not, but it's harder to drop them because the replacements in that particular position aren't of the same quality.
Okay, well, I'll come back and I'll say, right, the left winger, Gakpo.
Yes.
A lot of Liverpool fans are going, okay, what did he do? Dribbles down, cuts in, right foot, that's it. You've got an Italy international, Chiesa, who every single fan thinks, you know what, he's trying his hardest.
Agreed.
He can't get a sniff. Why not pick that lad? As for the back, you've got Joe Gomez. Up until a few years ago, before those injuries, he was an England player. He's still quality, but you're telling me Canate, with all these mistakes, couldn't be benched for a game or two. Yet you've got Salah, who we haven't actually got a direct right-wing replacement, because Wirtz is not a right-winger. I don't think you don't play Ekitike on the right wing. So it seems an odd one. Like, of course, drop people. And I've got no problem with him being dropped for 1-2 games even. But to drop him for 3 when he's going to AFCON, that suggests you're not dropping him to save his legs. You know, you're dropping him to make a statement. And
Jonathan, I've got to stop you there. There are so many people want to have their say on that, and so many people have got very differing views.
Yeah, thanks, Jonathan.
As well, thanks very much indeed, Jonathan. By the way, Josh, the Villa fan, says, sorry, have I missed the 2 minutes of Villa chat about us beating Arsenal? Or does that come later? Josh, no, you didn't miss the 2 minutes of Villa chat. You missed the 20 minutes of Villa chat that we had at around 6:35 this morning. You've got to put your arm on for 6 o'clock, Josh. You never know what you're going to miss. And by the way, Coisty, we'll talk about it later. I don't think you can take Slot out of the equation because you wonder whether Salah's form is down to Arne Slot's management. Anyway, we'll talk about that a bit later on. Let's head to Formula One now, as it has a new world champion. Lando Norris doing what was required in Abu Dhabi, a third-place finish. I'm pleased to say we're joined now by the top Formula One podcaster and YouTuber, Tomo McCluskey. Morning, Tomo.
Good morning, Tomo.
Good morning, gentlemen. Thank you very much for having me. A long championship, and finally Lando got it done just.
Yeah, so, I mean, look, this is a long-term master plan come to fruition for Lando Norris, because he's been at it since he was, 7 or 8?
Yeah, I think he was 6 when he first jumped into a kart, was Lando, and showed some promise early doors, and has just continually developed. Ginettas, he was in around Brands Hatch in like 2016, got the jump in Formula 3, Formula 2, came up just short of that title with George Russell and Alex Albon, his fellow F1 drivers. Got the McLaren opportunity. That team's been on a proper roller coaster, right? The McLaren of old won continuously. This new McLaren, it's been a struggle at times. You only have to go back, 2.5 years, and they were one of the slowest cars on the grid. And all of a sudden, with Lando at the wheel, they've got it done.
I was going to say, Tomo, it could not have gone any better for McLaren. First kind of double driver and constructor since 1998. What a season, mate.
Yeah, I mean, it's been... their approach, McLaren's approach, to have these kind of 2 number 1 drivers, Piastri and Norris, going at it all season. You know, the Constructors' Championship, that was comfortable. They got that done last year. Just Ferrari almost beat them to it last year, but they got it done comfortably this year. However, of course, having those 2 number 1 drivers has very much allowed Max Verstappen to become part of this championship picture. Yeah. 3 drivers going into the finale, and it's 2 points ahead of Verstappen in the end. Super, super, super close. It could have gone like a bit of technical unreliability, some random safety car. We all saw what happened in 2021, how quickly that turned. Yeah. And he got it done. And he got it done. And you know what? Fair play to Lando. He's been through it this year. It's not been, there's been mistakes. It's not been a dominant season by any shot, but it's his first go at it. And I do genuinely think now that he's got this championship ticked off, I think we're going to see a much better, more complete, more calm, more assured version of Lando Norris going forward.
Yeah, and it was, it was refreshing to hear him say afterwards, Tomo, that he's made mistakes during the course of the season. But what I think makes it more special for him is that, albeit the gap was 2 points in the end, he's beaten one of the all-time greats in Verstappen. Yeah. That must make it so much more satisfying.
Yeah, it must be so rewarding as well, where it's come down to the wire. It's like most, when Verstappen won in 2023, he won that comfortably, and of course that was great for him. But when it's a championship that goes down to the wire, just like a Premier League title fight that goes down to the last day, of course it's going to mean that a little bit more and be that little bit more special. Also, your first championship is always going to be something. Lewis talked about this post-race. He's got 7 and he still remembers his first in 2008 like it was yesterday. So yeah, he should be very, very proud of himself. And I mean, I reckon he had a long night last night. I reckon, lads.
Tom, I was going to say, I mean, I was watching it, and you were thrilled by the whole thing. Obviously, the tears and all that stuff. And his mother being there, everything about it was fantastic. But what I couldn't help but notice, whether it was Verstappen or Lewis or everybody that they spoke to, he was really, really. They thought he was really deserving of the championship, but you could tell he's really popular and really well liked.
Yeah, I think he's made a real impression with his peers. His approach, and Carlos Sainz said this post-race, that nice guy, he can make it work that way. So, he's got to be... He's different, Lando. He's gone about things differently. He's very out there. He wears his heart on his sleeve. He takes a lot of account maybe to too much of an extent. And he said, post-race, he's made some changes to his team on the back end to kind of help get him through this. Not everyone has that same cutthroat mentality that, say, a Verstappen has, where it feels like it comes quite easily to him. Lando's had to work more at that, but that underlying talent has always been there for him, especially over a lap. His single lap pace is why I think has won him this championship in the end, because he is so quick over a lap. And look, he's still so young. He's 26. There's still room to grow, still room to improve, and I think this is huge for him.
Tomo, thanks very much indeed.
Thanks, Tom. All the best, mate.
Cheers, boys. Thank you.
I mean, I'll be honest, I've seen more exciting circuits of the M25 than the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. But that wasn't the story on the day. Let's hope it's the first of many as far as he's concerned. Just a very quick text from Mal in Northern Ireland says, let's look at how Arnie Slot dealt with Gerald Quansler and Harvey Elliott. Both situations similar to what he's doing with Salah. His man management skills are obviously zero. While Mo's statement was wrong, there is clearly a lot of truth in it, given our manager's previous dealings with players that he doesn't seem to fancy. Right, still to come on breakfast.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Doing what matters for the trade. Find your local branch at travisperkins.co.uk.
We will continue to take your calls on Mo Salah. 03717 223344 is the number to ring. We'll hear more of what you have to say at around 8 o'clock. Graeme Souness is joining us just after 9. Up next, we're joined by the inspirational Kevin Sinfield after his amazing 7 in 7 ultramarathons. That was a look ahead, all thanks to Travis Perkins.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Bricks on bricks on bricks. Over 40 million available to order with delivery to site. That's one less thing to worry about.
So, we are almost ready to go. Ian Danter here in the commentary box. But it is all about whether Dean Saunders can retain the talkSPORT World Championship. To win the leg. She's got it! Gets it! refuses the handshake. Good morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast with the Arnold Clark app. Everything for your car all in one place. Download it today. I'm Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist is with me. Headlines this morning. talkSPORT understands that Arnie Slot has the full backing of the Liverpool board over Mo Salah's incredible outburst. Wilfred Nancy had a shocking start to life as the Celtic boss. They lost 2-1 at home to title rivals Hearts yesterday. Hearts going 3 points clear. And Mark Gahey scored a late winner for Palace at Fulham yesterday to move them into the top 4. After almost leaving the club last summer, his boss, Oliver Glasner, was full of praise for his captain.
I can just speak in best about Mark, because he's a fantastic person and he's a fantastic player. So that's why he plays and shows what he's doing. On the other side, for me, it's that we now have to admire people who just do on the other side what they have to do. You know, he had a contract here. I had no doubts, no concerns, because I was always speaking with Mark last season, in the off season, in the pre-season, and then yes. He was a little bit disappointed, but again, sometimes you have also disappointments in your life, and then it's how you... But nobody did something, nobody promised him once that he can leave, nobody promised him that this will happen, and then it was at the end just a decision, and he always said, okay, I will give my best for Crystal Palace. That's how I got him known when I arrived, and that's what I really appreciate. And then again, if you are a fantastic person and a fantastic player, then you perform like he does. And then I think it's the opposite. I think if you behave like he behaved, you get the reward.
Going to be one or two very loud knocks on the Palace door, you would imagine, during the course of January for Mark Gahey. And one or two of those doing the knocking might have Scouse accents. Now then, the rugby league legend Kevin Sinfield has finished his 7-in-7 ultramarathon challenge. Former rugby league star battled the very worst of British weather, but it was all worthwhile because, of course, it was in aid of motor neurone disease, the muscle-wasting condition that ended the life of his mate Rob Burrow at the age of just 41. His target initially was £777,777, but that's been absolutely smashed. 1.15 million at the moment. That's just from this challenge, by the way, which will be donated to 6 MND charities. And I'm delighted to say that Kevin joins us now. Morning, Kev.
Good morning, Kev.
Good morning, Jeff. Morning, Ali.
How are the legs feeling, Kev?
I'm a bit beat up, but I'm okay. The prep for this one was brutal, so I was probably in the best shape I've been in since I finished playing. So I'm glowing. We've had a great week. The team have been outstanding, and the support has been awesome, especially from you guys. So thank you.
Kev, tell you something, mate. It's 7:45 on Monday morning. I'm thinking to myself and saying to Jeff, if MD deserves a long lie this morning, it's you. But you never stop, do you?
No, I was up early this morning. You'll laugh at this, but I was doing my recovery session. And I'm back to work today. I'm back in work this afternoon. So life goes on, doesn't it? Back to reality.
Brilliant, mate.
Yeah, but look, Kev, because obviously you're so high profile. The walks are so high profile. I mean, for instance, I know you met Marcus Stewart at Ipswich, you know, and his Mrs. Lou, who was there as well. I was at Gloucestershire County Cricket Club
last Thursday night. Of course, they lost Sid Lawrence very quickly to MND. Lewis Moody's come out recently and said that that's what he's suffering for as well. The money raising is fantastic. The awareness is huge, though.
Yeah, I agree. The awareness has been crucial. I think, we wind back to when the great Doddy Weir was doing all his campaigning when he was first diagnosed. Nobody knew what MND was, and I think there's been a big shift the last 5 or 6 years with a whole host of different people campaigning and doing fundraising. But as brutal as it is, we need the money. It's the money that's going to really change things. This disease has been underfunded for far too long, and the only way we're going to help families and find a cure is by donating and pumping money towards the charities that can help. And yeah, it's been, I've seen the momentum more than ever this year. It was our 6th challenge, and the people lining the streets for us in the rain, the people meeting us at the locations, people at the start, the finish, are right behind it, and they understand it, and they know how. The awareness has been great in generating that, but people are right with us, and that's been incredible to see.
Kev, you used the word brutal, and that's exactly the word you would use for the disease. It's arguably one of the worst, and over 10 million in 5 years, and this particular challenge was 300k, but 185 mils, absolutely ridiculous, and it is a brutal illness. However, the one quote that I read from you, mate, at the end of this particular challenge was you're talking about the MND people and the community, and you said it's a beautiful community, and it is, mate, isn't it?
It is, yeah. The MND affects the best of us, and every family I've met who have been challenged by MND and have been on that journey, I've got such courage. They are so brave. They're so inspirational, and they have a spirit about them, Ali, that you don't see in people who are getting on with everyday life. They are fighting for every single second to stay here and be part of society and contribute. And the amount of families, when we have our stops and you see people with tears in their eyes who are just so pleased to be a part of it, because years gone by, they'd lock themselves behind the front doors and wouldn't leave the house because people didn't know what it was and they were ashamed. And now they're together and they're fighting together, and the community is beautiful.
Yeah. I think I know the answer to the next question, Kev, before I ask it, but I will ask it nevertheless. You're going to carry on?
Yeah, we committed to doing 7, and that'll be, I think we'll do late September, early October. We'll shift it slightly next year. And then beyond that, I'm committed to it now. I'm in it for life. It'll look differently after next year. It has to, because the team I'm with have been so selfless, and it has to look different for those guys as well from the commitment they've put in. But I'll continue to do it in some shape or form. I'm in this for life now. I've made a commitment to them, and it's part of the piece, the legacy piece for Rob Burrow as well, and Doddy and all those we've lost. You mentioned Sid Lawrence as well. They're all guys I've met and spent time with, and they've been great guys, and I think it's only right we find a cure in all of those names, and for just the regular people, and I say regular, and I don't mean that disrespectfully, but the guys we've talked about today have had profiles because they've been sportsmen, and that allows them to be held as beacons and champions of the disease. But there's so many other regular guys who have done exactly the same, but less public, and we've got to do it for those as well.
Kev, just a quick one, mate. Prince William quoted yesterday as saying yourself as truly inspiring. I think he's speaking for the whole country, my friend. Absolutely magnificent effort, pal.
Thank you very much. Thanks for your support as well, both of you. I know you've been on it all week, and you're fantastic guys, both of you.
Hey, well done, Kev.
Well done,
You're
Kev.
doing the MND community absolutely proud.
Different class,
Keep it
pal.
up, mate.
Thank you.
Kevin Sinfield, what
Amazing.
cliche, but
Amazing.
he is inspirational, totally inspirational.
Of course he is.
And his mate Rob Burrow, looking down from up there, he must be so proud of the work that his mate is doing. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Big thanks to Kevin Sinfield there. Up next, we want to hear from you, Liverpool fans. Paul, who's in Cumbria, as texted, Salah's getting thrown under the bus by Slot and the Liverpool board as an excuse for their season up to now. He's been incredible for the club and their Premier League for years. And he said, I'm a Chelsea fan. He said, Mike Bassett could have won the league with Liverpool last season. Slot is being found out. Agree or disagree? Let's hear from you. 03717 223344 is the number to call.
Knows there are 20 managers in the Premier League, yeah? Well, actually, no. Around 3/4 of them are not managers. The terms manager and head coach are often used interchangeably to describe Premier League bosses, but they're actually two different jobs. So let's explain how and why. For years, fans referred to Mikel Arteta as Arsenal's manager, but I'm afraid technically...
I don't think so, no.
From his first day on the job, he was the Gunners' head coach. Let's pick a random moment in time, February 2025. Only 6 Premier League bosses actually held the official title of manager rather than head coach. Man City's Pep Guardiola, David Moyes of Everton, Ipswich boss Kieran McKenna, Southampton's Ivan Juric, Oliver Glasner at Crystal Palace and Leicester's Ruud van Nistelrooy were the only actual managers of their respective teams. Everyone else? That's right, head coach, including Ruben Amorim at Man Utd. He took over from Erik ten Hag, a man who had held the title of manager. Might come as a surprise that Amorim's appointment marked the first time ever that Man Utd had a head coach instead of a manager. But to understand why they made that decision, you also have to get what the difference is between a head coach and a manager. A manager's got a huge range of responsibilities. They're not just in charge of training and player lineups, they're also heavily involved in player sales and transfers. Critical stuff. But a head coach's role is far more focused on team training and performance on the pitch. So whereas Ten Hag was highly involved with decisions around transfers during his tenure, the intention was that Amorim wouldn't be, at least not on the same level. And as the sporting structure at Man Utd changed under Sir Jim Ratcliffe, people like Sir Dave Brailsford took charge of transfers instead. How all those roles play out in practice may be slightly different at different clubs though. On the other hand, the contracts of actual managers like Pep or Moyes had no limits on their job role and their involvement with transfers and contracts. But those guys are actually in the minority now, and it's a change that's happened pretty quickly. In 2019, there were only 6 head coaches in the Premier League, but by 2025 there were 14. A clear indication that more and more clubs are moving towards a model where the guy in charge is actually only really in charge on the pitch. And the way things are going, it might not be long before all 20 clubs have got head coaches, and the job position of football manager in the top flight is no more.
Good morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist, and our friends at Arnold Clark get the UK's best used car deals guaranteed. James's text has said, morning guys, can we have a shout out for Mark Selby, who won the UK Championship last night, first Triple Crown event in 9 years. James, funnily enough, I'm just watching a rerun of it at the moment on a giant screen to my right hand side. It's in the first frame, but I don't need to watch the rest of it, do I? Because I know what happens now. Yeah, well done to Mark Selby. Absolutely brilliant. By the way, Coisty, how are your legs? Are you feeling fit? Are you ready?
Well, I'm ready to go, yeah. I'm going on the bike later on.
Good. No. No, you're not going on the bike because you've got a bigger date. You know, we heard Alan Brazil, the horse running the other day.
Yes.
And did pretty well. 12:55 Fontwell today, which is the KSR Lighting Juvenile Hurdle.
Yeah.
Number 5, Coisty.
No way.
Makes its debut over hurdles.
Oh, that'll be good. Right,
Yeah.
I'll need to look out for that.
Yeah. You are a 50-1 chance in a 7-runner race. And the Sporting Life sums it up to this. Sums it like this. Brother to bumper winner, Steel and Icon. Little form in varied events on the flat. So you are a no-hoper.
By the way, I could have told you that, mate. I could have told you. Listen, I've got to read something to you, mate. Hilarious, Jeff. My mate sent me this last night. I was in tears when I read it, right? It says, I've been looking at the World Cup kick-off times for the home nations, and it appears that England kick off at 9 p.m. versus Croatia, 9 p.m. versus Ghana, 10 p.m. versus Panama. While Scotland kick off at 11 p.m. versus Haiti, 2 a.m. versus Morocco, and they will kick off against Brazil at 11 p.m, 11:05, 11:22, 12:19, 12:36.
Brilliant.
I thought it was very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Hey, what are the absentee rates going to be like in Scotland after that 2 o'clock in the morning kick-off, eh?
Oh, it'll be high.
They will.
Higher than normal.
Trigger in Ledbury, just briefly, as Texas said, big shout-out to Leeds. Narrative hit against Man City, win against Chelsea, good point against Liverpool. 8 goals scored in those 3 games. Jeff was worried about where the goals were going to come from. Well, Jeff, they're coming from everywhere. Trigger, you are so right, and I've made a note to mention that a little later on. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, by the way, he's taken a bit of flack, hasn't he?
Yeah.
But I tell you what, he stepped up. There's no doubt he's stepped up.
Correct.
And on Stack's goal was brilliant. And what about the atmosphere when Tanaka scored that equalising
Incredible.
goal? It was
astonishing. It was Ellen Road.
Oh, I've got to say, when that went in, when Dia's goal at Villa Park, I mean, the roof just come off those stadiums. It's magic.
Brilliant. Still on the way this morning, we'll ask former skipper Mark Butcher if England heading towards humiliation down under, whether that will spell the end of Bazball, will react to Lando Norris becoming F1 world champion with his former karting coach Rob Dodds, and legendary Liverpool skipper Graeme Souness will give us his thoughts on Mo Salah dropping this bombshell on Saturday.
Sitting on the bench for 90 minutes. I think that's the third time I'm in the bench. I think it's my first time in my career, but I'm very disappointed. I'm very, very disappointed, to be fair. I have done so much for this club. Everybody can see that during the years, and especially last season. Sitting on the bench, I don't know why. Seems like a club is throwing me under the bus. That's how I feel it. I think it's very clear that someone wants me to get all the blame. The club promised me in the summer for a lot of promises and nothing. So far, I'm in the bench 3 games, so I can't say that they keep the promise. And I said that many times before. I had a good relationship with the manager, and out of the sudden, we don't have any relationship. I don't know why. It seems to me, how I see it, it's someone doesn't want me in the club.
Let's head to the phone line, shall we? First up is Chris, who's a Liverpool fan. Morning, Chris. Good
morning, Chris.
Morning, Jeff. Morning, Al. How are we, boys?
Yeah, we're good. Do you think you'll see Mo Salah in a Liverpool shirt again? Do you want to?
I hope so, mate. I really, 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 really hope so. That fella has done more for my club, for our club, than that Dutch moron. He's got no clue. If it was me, I'd get back the Messiah. I'd offer that man as much money as he wanted to come and steer the ship to the end of the season. Give us time to look for somebody else. That's my personal opinion.
I'll ask you one, Chris, mate. I'm not doubting. I am absolutely not doubting what Mo Salah is as a player and what he's achieved at Liverpool and what he's done for Liverpool. But Liverpool have done a lot for him as well, mate. Do you think if Kenny Dalglish had been left out of the team, he'd have made those comments?
Oh, well, unfortunately, Al, I can't comment on that. Kenny Dalglish was a touch before my time, mate.
Yeah.
But with the calibre of player that King Kenny was, and still is, you know, I don't think he'd have made those comments because he wouldn't have been left out.
Chris, thank you very much indeed.
Thanks, Chris.
Let's hear from Daniel, who's another Liverpool fan. Morning, Daniel.
Morning, Daniel.
Morning, how are we?
Yeah, we're good, mate. Look, Chris there was firmly on the side of Mo Salah. What about you?
I'm on the fence with it, if I'm honest with you. I think he's disgraceful at what he's just come out and said. The turmoil this club is in at the moment, one of our best players has been for God knows how many years, comes out with that. We need everyone to get together, not just make it about himself. He has been terrible for the last couple of games, and he deserved to be dropped. Canate deserved to be dropped, but we got no cover for him. Robertson has been dropped. He hasn't come out and gobbed off, and he's been amazing. All right, you don't do it. You just don't do it. And he's not helped Slot, and now we're in a predicament where if we play him, Slot's lost the dressing room because he has no control, and if we don't, Salah then walks because he doesn't get played. He's just made it worse than it needed to be, and there was no need for it. For a player who's done so much for this club, he's just put the cat amongst the pigeons and ruined everything he's done for us.
Daniel, if that's you on the fence, mate, I'd hate to see you off the fence.
He's annoyed me. He really has annoyed me. I love him to bits, and he's done so much for his club, and I want him to stay.
Yeah.
I want him in this team, but his attitude at the moment is terrible, and whoever's advising him needs a slap.
Thank you, Daniel.
I'm with you, Daniel.
Thanks, Daniel. Let's squeeze one more in. Let's speak to Ray, who's a Liverpool fan. Morning, Ray.
Good morning, Ray.
Good morning. Now, everybody's getting on the back of Arne's Slots, but if you remember, Ali and Jeff, well, you will do, when Dalglish left Liverpool, Graeme Souness took over. Now, he took over a side that was ageing, and he had to sweep massive changes on the club.
Yep.
And he got done for that as well. They really slated him for it. Now, Slot, he's got Van Dijk, he's got Robertson, Trent was going, and Salah, they're all on the knockings, really. Although, you know, they can still play, but they're still on the knockings, so he's got to rebuild the side. And he has tried playing the kids, Klopp's kids, but they're just not up to scratch at the moment. So he's damned if he does, damned if he doesn't. And if he doesn't put Salah on the bench, then Salah's got the dressing room, and Liverpool will end up like Man United, player power. You can't have that. You look at the days of Shankly and Pacey. I know I'm going back a bit, but if he'd have said that in their day, you wouldn't have seen him. He wouldn't have been on the bench. He'd have been in the reserves and stayed there for a couple of months. Do you not agree?
What do you think, Coisty?
Well, I think you're right, Ray. I do agree. I think the comments do not help anybody at all. I think the comments are selfish. I think they're all about himself. I'll get back to the point I made. He's been one of the best players I've seen in the league, maybe ever. But you cannot, when there's a bigger issue, and the bigger issue is the club, the slump in the club's for him, you cannot do what he's done, I don't think.
No player is bigger than the club.
Correct.
Ray, thank you very much indeed.
We that Torres and they've all gone, and we've always replaced them. And we replaced Mo as well.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ray.
Yeah.
Oh, it's interesting, isn't it? You know, the replace, Salah as well. Imagine a Liverpool side, it is an imagined one actually, in January, you look back last season, from January, they might be a side which are playing without, the lost and lamented Diogo Jota, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Luis Diaz and Mo Salah. I mean, that is unimaginable.
Yep.
And Tony, who's a massive Liverpool fan and a regular contributor, puts it very succinctly, he's just said, Arne Slot has ruined Liverpool. Don't forget more on Salah. You can check out the talkSPORT Daily podcast today. Coming up, we bring you more on the chances of that horse, Coisty. Dave in Mexborough, by the way, says, morning, boys. It's very rash of you, Dave. Just to let you know, I've bet 40p on Coisty to win. That is 40p too much, Dave. That's next.
Dave.
So, we are almost ready to go. Ian Danter here in the commentary box. But it is all about whether Dean Saunders can retain the talkSPORT World Championship. To win the leg. She's got it! Gets it! Double nine! He refuses the handshake.
In the day we drink our pints of Guinness, me and I'll living the dream. But first we'll host our radio show, you can just imagine the scene. The sun is rising and the going's good, Cleve Hill's looking splendid and we're having more fun than we should. Whoa, baby, this place will put a smile on your face. It's a race course, it's a tour de force. We're gonna go and have some fun, 'cause me and Big Al, we're going to Cheltenham.
Well, you two maybe go to Cheltenham, but I tell you what, your horse namesake won't be.
Jeff, I need to let the listeners know that aren't watching this on YouTube. Your face throughout that was remarkable. It was one of a stunned look, and so it should be, mate. So it should be.
Well, look, the reason we're playing it, actually, I don't know why we're playing Born and Run, because it's most inappropriate. Because there's a horse called Coisty running in the 12:55 at Fontwell today. Debut over hurdles. But Coisty, I've looked up this horse's flat record. Listen to this. It's had 6 runs. First run was at Lingfield, mile and a half, third of 3. Then in October ran at Lingfield again, mile and a quarter, 13th of 13. Then the 12th of February ran at Kempton over a mile, 8th of 8. Then in January ran again, Kempton 1 mile 3 furlongs, 8th of 8. Then at Lingfield 1 mile 2 furlongs, 9th of 10. So there's an improvement. The first time it beat a horse. Goodness sake. I'll tell you what, Dave in Mexbury, you're 40. You are extravagant. 40 pence on Coisty to win. Look, the horse has got no chance. Let's confirm that with talkSPORT's racing correspondent Rupert Bell.
Well, I have to say, what is it with these horses being named after talkSPORT presenters? Now we've got Coisty, and I have to say, Coisty's record is appalling. Wolves have got a better record. They've only got 2 points. This horse has only beaten 1 horse home in all his previous races. So he now tries over hurdles, and I have to say, I think Ali could gallop faster this horse. If this horse wins, it will be a greater sporting achievement than Aston Villa scoring their last-minute winner against Arsenal.
Brilliant. Thank you very much indeed, Rupert. I wonder if one day we could see Alan Brazil versus Coisty on the racecourse. I mean, either the equine or the human versions. I really don't mind which. By the way, just on the Mo Salah stuff, I've just got to mention this. Is a brilliant text from Lee. All right, Lee says, how come none of these Liverpool fans have Scouse accents? That's from Lee in London, a Manchester United fan. Thank you very much indeed, Lee. Right, let's get the latest odds with Coral and Dave Stevens.
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT with Coral. Whatever kind of festive fan you are, bring the cheer with Coral. 18+, gambleaware.org.
Steve-O, good morning to you.
Oh, Steve-O, how are you, mate?
Gentlemen, a brilliant show this morning. And Ali, you took the words out of my mouth. Jeff's face during that rendition of your channel. It was a sort of mixture of pity and contempt, really, wasn't it? But listen,
I think you could throw in a bit of horror as well, Steve.
Well, short of putting his hands over his ears. I'm off to Fontwell today. We've got a Coral Racing Club runner later on in Diamond Days in the 255s. I'm delighted to say that one's 11-4 second favourite for the informed Joe Tizard team. What an added bonus. I get to see Coisty. Now, flat racing, as Jeff has pointed out, wasn't his forte. Let's hope 8 obstacles brings out a little bit of improvement. But yeah, Coisty 66-1. Opening line of the comment, no worthwhile form in 6 runs. But listen, hey, Jeff, I don't know why we're mocking, actually, because this horse has an owner and a trainer. And you and I, Jeff, Ali, I'm sure you're the same. We've all owned shares in horses.
Yes.
That didn't have a good a chance as this horse has got. So, it's a tough old game. But, yeah, Coisty.
It is. And, you know, just sometimes hurdles can bring around a major transformation in horses. And it's not the greatest race in the world. So we wish Coisty and all of the connections well. That is for sure. Villa beating Arsenal at the weekend put a bit of a cat amongst the pigeons in terms of the title race. Has it affected the odds at all, Steve-O?
Of course it hasn't. And look, I spoke to Shaban and Cass on Saturday. I thought, I'm after timing to a degree, but I thought Villa were a big price. They're the form team. Yep. They were 3-1. OK, they got the win in dramatic circumstances. Rupert's still buzzing from that, obviously. What does it mean? It means Arsenal are now 4-6, having been shorter than that, obviously going, this is for the title. Manchester City into 7-4. And Aston Villa, Roops, if you're listening, 25-1 third favourites now for the title. They are absolutely on fire, only 3 points behind. Top 4, again, they're banging the mix for it, 7-4 Aston Villa. I think that's too big.
So do I.
Why are Liverpool 4-6 still? Chelsea 8-11, inconsistent sides. So it is bubbling up absolutely beautifully. Anyone, Gunners fans, I don't think there were too many Gooners, to be fair, that thought it was all over. But there is so much life in this title race.
What about the other title race, the big one up here, Steve-O? After that result yesterday at Celtic Park, what can you tell me? That was a big result for Hearts, wasn't it?
You're getting far too much pleasure having this conversation, Ali, aren't you?
No, I'm just pointing out the facts, Steve-O.
The big man will be responding, and the big man will be happy because Celtic are still 2-5. But again, a bit like, does that underestimate Heart to a 4-1, Rangers 5-1? So, yeah, we've got a couple of title races on our hand, which is fantastic.
Poor old Wilfried Nancy, in his first game in charge, he's taken a bit of stick Coisty because of the shots of him looking at his little tactics board with little checkers in place.
Yeah, I must admit, Steve, you know what it's like, particularly up here. He's been crucified. All the guy was doing, he's clearly looking at his wee board for his tactics and his players. We've all seen them do it, but honestly, by the time the P had stopped rolling about in the referee's whistle, the phones were going about everywhere with all these images of him playing Connect 4 and all that stuff. You know what it's like, boys.
Yeah, the modern world is brutal. I mean, look, just going back to Liverpool, I'm staggered at some of the response from Liverpool fans to Arne Slot. I mean, I'm not going to repeat. I mean, the guy that called him the Dutch so-and-so, I thought, I mean, that's harsh. Mo Salah has been dropped because he's not been playing well.
Correct.
I mean, on that subject, he's 5-6 to go in the January transfer window, 5-6 to still be there. We don't know. Dom King said this earlier. He can't say with any certainty. Big match tonight, I should just say, obviously, Wolves fans. I mean, Wolves, what a load of trouble they're in. So far adrift down the bottom, 4-1 at home to United, 4-6. But it's been a brilliant show, genuinely. Kevin Sinfield, the sublime, to the ridiculous of Malcolm Conn. Not Malcolm himself, by the way. This is the Aussie journalist.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing worse at 7:30 in the morning than the smug Australian, is there? But it's got every right to be.
Steve-O, I was saying to the boys, I asked them a question, right? And I just knew I was getting a one-word answer. I said, if England get any chance in the third test, and I knew there was 2 letters, 1 word coming my way, in about 2 seconds flat, and it came. He didn't let me down.
He's not even having it going to a 5th day, and it's hard to argue. And we've been talking about the whitewash from the start. It is now only 6-4. And look, everything Malcolm said, despite the Aussie smugness, was absolutely right. Bazball is predictable.
Yeah.
It's not... Yeah. The Aussies are just better than us because they treat every game on its merits. And 6-4 the whitewash, and it's hard to argue with that.
Steve, just a quick word on the racing. John Bond, one of the most popular horses in training, I think. No hat-trick in the Tingle Creek, even though he loves Sandown. So it looks like the Champion Chase is not on the agenda this season. Does he need to step up and trip now?
Yeah, I think Nicky Henderson's absolutely right. There's no point taking on Ilate Tomp, who's beaten him the last twice now. That one for Willie Mullins is 5-2 favourite for the Champion Chase over 2 miles. I think we'll see John Bond head for the Ryanair Chase at the festival, for which he's 8-1. But Nicky Henderson has got reason to be cheerful because Lulamba, his next star novice over fences, and he's now 2-1 favourite for the Arkle. He's not talking any more about Constitution here. He's made that clear, but he'll talk plenty about Lulamba.
Steve-O, thanks very much indeed.
Have a good week, Steve-O.
Cheers, fellas.
And that was a look at the latest odds, all thanks to Coral. 18+, gambleaware.org. Coming up, we'll be giving you our thoughts on the World Cup draw. Don't think you'll want to miss this.
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT with Coral. Whatever kind of festive fan you are, bring the cheer with Coral. 18+, gambleaware.org.
Premier League's profit and sustainability rules are sold to us as financial fair play, a way to keep clubs from going bust. But there are those who feel it's starting to look a lot like a system that protects the big boys and keeps the rest in their lane. Here's how it works and why people feel that way. So clubs can only lose 105 million quid over 3 years, which sounds fair, but here's the kicker. Your limit includes how much you earn. So if you're one of the traditional top 6, you've got massive global revenue streams and you can spend way more while still technically following the rules. Meanwhile, ambitious clubs like Newcastle, Villa or Forest, well, they're bringing a knife to a gunfight. Newcastle might be backed by Saudi billions, but they just can't splurge the cash. Their commercial income isn't there yet. Last season, they won their first domestic trophy since 1955 and qualified for the Champions League, which you'd think would be a great springboard for them to go on and start building a team to challenge at the very top. But because of PSR restraints, they couldn't break their wage structure for a new Alexander Isak contract, and look what happened there. So what's the solution? Well, either loosen the reins so ambitious clubs can spend within their means, or cap spending based on something other than revenue. Otherwise, we're just watching the same 6 teams swapping silverware most seasons, and that, folks, ain't what the Premier League was built on.
Good morning, 8:35. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist, and the Arnold Clark, and everything for your car all in one place. Download it now. Now, the World Cup is only around 8 months away, but anyone who watched the draw on Friday night might be wishing it wasn't happening at all. I mean, Coisty, I missed Pointless and the Chase for this. Richard Osman's House of Games was delayed for a grotesque, bloated, self-congratulatory ceremony which made me fear where football is heading, in the hands of a self-publicist who makes Piers Morgan seem shy and retiring. I mean, it was a mess, and you'd have thought that even more so if you came from North Macadamia. I mean, that is nuts. And the group of death, with 3 going through from most of those groups, there's not even a group of mild unpleasantness. I mean, it was a waste of an hour and a quarter of my life. And I say an hour and a quarter because at 6:15, I turned the thing off. Had enough. What nonsense. If that's a sign of what's to come in the States, God help us.
Oh, God, I say to you. Do you know something? He nearly got away with it, right? Because there was that much going on, right? Wayne Gretzky nearly got away with his mispronunciation of about 16 countries. That was hilarious. If ever there was a perfect example of an insular American not knowing there's a world outside the United States, the greatest ice hockey player that ever played the game gave us that in bundles, didn't he?
Yeah. I mean, when you were there, were you aware of how it was going to be received?
Oh, I was aware. Yeah. Listen, when you're in it, the whole thing was surreal, Jeff. It was surreal. You're sitting there, as I said to you at the start of the show, you're sitting there, and your man come on, and he was brilliant, by the way. What do you call him? The tenor, is it Bocelli?
Yeah,
right.
Andrea Bocelli, yeah.
Out of this world. And I'm thinking myself, here we go. Not bad. Well, a bit of that. Robbie came on. I thought Robbie was very good. I really did. I thought Robbie was very good. And then Lauren Hill came on with a pair of shoes. I couldn't take my eyes off her shoes. There must have been 14-inch heels and platform soles, right? And she's marching about this stage, and I'm thinking she's going to cop it in a minute here. And then the highlight, I'll never forget watching the Village People and then turning round and seeing the world's most powerful man dancing to the Village People. I thought, Coisty, it's time to head to the airport, son. Get yourself back to UK.
You see, when I first heard from Donald Trump, I had to say, when he kept talking about Johnny, I kept looking around thinking, who's Johnny? Oh, Johnny. Okay. His best pal. Goodness me. Look, on a serious note, I mean, eventually, I mean, the groups, I thought because of the fact that 32 out of 48 go through, I mean, there is no real jeopardy. England, Croatia, Panama and Ghana. The one thing I was uncomfortable about, Coisty, was once they come out, I mean, Croatia's no pushover, by the way.
Yeah.
But I was uncomfortable with the immediate reaction, stories we might get Brazil in the quarterfinals. That makes me feel really uncomfortable because it's supremely arrogant.
Correct. But then, dare I say it, I think it's not for the first time that you boys, and I don't mean you in particular, have got a draw planned out to who you're playing in semi-finals and all that kind of stuff, right? And I get you boys don't have any jeopardy, and I get that. But dare I say it, we do, and hopefully another couple of the home nations certainly can join us, and that would be fantastic. But we've got a lot of jeopardy. We've never got a group before, so it's fantastic for us if we can win our first game. And I know, Jeff, I know you are 100% correct. It's actually looking sometimes harder now not to get out the group than it is to get out the group. But we've never done it before, so that's the jeopardy for us. The jeopardy for England will happen later on in the tournament.
Yeah. I mean, I think if you win that first game, this is Haiti, you win that first game, you are to all intents and purposes through to the next phase.
I know, and we've never done it before. Listen, you're right. It's not. You could argue it's never been easier, right? But after the celebration of us getting there, which was fantastic, and the way we got there is fantastic, we've got a draw to look forward to, and it's a brilliant draw for us, Jeff. I mean, Brazil's fantastic because they might not be the best footballing nation in the world right now, but to me and to millions of people around the globe, they're still the most attractive opposition because of the history and who they are and what they've achieved. So it's a wonderful draw for us.
It is a wonderful draw. Are the pubs going to stay open for that kick-off at 2 in the morning?
Even if they're not allowed to, yes.
Brilliant. By the way, Ash, the Newcastle fan's been on here, and he's actually just spoken what I was thinking. Ally McCoist, Washington DC Friday, Villa Park Saturday, Glasgow today. Where next? Mars, Jupiter? Brilliant stuff to see. I don't think it is Mars or Jupiter. It's Spain, isn't it?
I'm in Madrid for Manchester City. And by the way, my message has been going already. I am completely aware that Wayne Gretzky is Canadian, right? Because he played with the Edmonton Oilers. But I was talking in general about North Americans.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you, mate. But George from Bexley Heath has just texted, Martin Keown thinks Arsenal will win the World Cup. I'm not sure if Martin's in here next or not, but he's bigger than me, so,
brilliant.
We're going to be very kind to him, that's for sure. OK, enough of the World Cup draw. Let's concentrate on the Premier League for a moment or two. Man City back in the groove. Just 2 points off the leaders, Arsenal, and Phil Foden. A revelation at the moment, by the way. Will he be in that England squad? Well, he'll be in the squad, won't he? Surely to go to the World Cup. Will he be in the starting lineup? Not impossible. Manager Pep Guardiola was asked how he sees City's title chances following Saturday's 3-0 win over Sunderland.
We will compete. We will be there. Winning or no, I don't know, but we will be there. And it's not that today we added 2 points, because in Premier League, tomorrow we added 7 points. You know, Chelsea is incredible and lost 5 points in 3 days. It's Premier League. You know, Arsenal, I remember Aston Villa, the first game they break, 3 defeats and no
goals in the first 4 games.
You know that, and now 7 in a row is there. So it's the way you perform. I know for you win is good, you lose is bad. I know, it's fine. But the other guy, you perform today. That's why I'm really pleased, because against Sunderland, we saw 2 years ago in Anfield what they have done, and whatever played during the way I do in 94 minutes. That made me feel okay. We are in a good way.
I mean, obviously they're 2 points off the top now. I think without absolutely being at their best, Coisty, but there was a texter earlier on, I lost it now, it's a couple of hours ago, who put this season into perspective. He said at the start of the season we all thought Liverpool would win the league, and then it was Arsenal, and then a couple of weeks ago we were talking about Chelsea, and today we've been talking about Aston Villa. But that tells me that it's just a fantastic season.
Correct. Absolutely. I don't think there's any doubt about that. We've said it. I said it all along, Jeff, at the start of the season. This season, as much as any, if not more, I think all the teams, well, certainly the top teams are more than capable of losing points against anybody in the league. And I genuinely believe that. I think it's the most competitive league in the world. There'll be an argument and a debate at this moment in time whether it's the best football-wise we've seen in a few years. I'm not so sure about that. That could be up for debate, but I still think it's the best. It's the most, it's full. As we saw at the weekend, you just need to look at Villa Park and at Elland Road. The drama is absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah, it certainly is. Do you think City will be... Well, can City win it? Do they have
the quality in depth, if you like. I looked at their substitutes bench the other day, and I thought there were only one or two who could really make a change. And there's news today as well that John Stones is out again.
That's not good.
And Pep says he's not sure for how long.
Do you know something, Jeff? I watched them against Leverkusen when Pep made 10 changes, and they clearly weren't as strong, I think. Or I would suggest he didn't get the level of performance he was looking for. I mean, I thought it was far too many changes to make, but he actually said he would have made 11 if he could. And he's sitting in a hot seat, not me. But I think we found out in that particular game that they are not as strong to make those kind of changes as perhaps he thought. But certainly, Jeff, they're 15, 16, 17 players who, incidentally, have been over the course and distance more than most, which I would not. Of course, it would not be a surprise if they won the league. No chance.
Sam, the Yeovil fans, texted. He says, "Morning, Jeff. I'd just like to thank Hartlepool for the 3 points at the weekend. Great start for our new manager, up the greens." Sam, you're more than welcome. That moves you up to 14th place on 27 points. That's just 6 points behind us, who sit in 8th. But you're welcome, Sam. Still to come on breakfast, he said bitterly.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Benchmarks Kitchens and Joinery. Get trade prices on kitchens to suit all styles and budgets at Benchmarks.
Liverpool legend Graeme Souness will join us just after 9 to give us his take on Mo Salah's comments after the Leeds game. Up next, though, it's all about England cricket and whether Bazball is unravelling in front of our very eyes. That was our look ahead, all thanks to Travis Perkins.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. With 250 hire branches nationwide, it's easy to hire at Travis Perkins.
So, we are almost ready to go. Ian Danter here in the commentary box. It is all about whether Dean Saunders can retain the talkSPORT World Championship. To win the leg. She's got it! Gets it! Double 9! He refuses the handshake.
Good morning, 8:49 on Monday, December the 8th. I'm Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist is with me. This is talkSPORT Breakfast, time to talk the Ashes. We all know what happened in that second test match. Brendan McCullum's come out afterwards and said England were over-prepared. He's annoyed a few people by saying we had 5 to 10 training sessions leading into this game. Something as a coach you have to be aware of. We have to find a way to ensure we're ready for battle, but also stay fresh. Hence, they're off for a few days break at Noosa. Speaking on following on the Ashes Inquest, our unmissable test reaction podcast on talkSPORT and the talkSPORT Cricket YouTube channel, John Norman and Steve Harmison, well, it's fair to say they were slightly baffled.
Come on, Brendan.
You guys were watching.
Over-prepared and overtrained. I mean, how can you say that? I'm not saying they underprepared, right? I'm not saying that. I never played the game. I don't know what you need physically and mentally to get up to a position where you are ready to take on Australia in the Ashes in Australia. I have no idea. I can pretend to. I've never been there, right? But I can tell you this. This England team were not over-prepared and overtrained. I don't even know what that means.
Well, let's get some views on that, shall we? Joining us more for that now, former England player Mark Butcher. Morning, Mark.
Morning, Butch.
Morning, gentlemen. How are you both?
Yeah, we're really good. So, I mean, I don't know what's more frustrating, the England performances or some of the stuff they come out with afterwards. Let's talk about the performance on the pitch, first of all. I mean, again, so far off it.
Yeah, so far off it. You're almost... I actually think that this loss was worse than the one in Perth, albeit that Perth was obviously a devastating start to the series and only a 2-day game. But I think in a contest on a pretty fair pitch, there was nothing untoward or extraordinary about the conditions, albeit that it was a pink ball test match. And with Australia sort of down 3 out of their 4 champion bowlers. They left Lyon out. They had no Cummins, no Hazelwood. Travis Head opening the batting when he usually bats at 5. Stand-in captain again. The opportunity there for England to level the series up was huge. And Joe Root makes his first 100 in Australia. And I reckon they're still 100 to 150 runs short in the first innings by dint of throwing wickets away. Going after Mitchell Starc, who's the main danger. They decide to take him on instead of seeing him off and milking runs off the others. And so they left themselves behind the 8-ball first innings, and then bowled absolutely dreadfully when they bowled first in their first innings in the field, and just were chasing the game ever since. Dropped 5 catches on the back end of it. And the game was pretty much over at the halfway point after both teams had batted once. Australia got that lead, 176, and you're absolutely struggling to come back from then. Why? I mean, listen, the philosophy around Bazball and sort of getting on the front foot and going after the opposition, we've seen that and we know all about it. It's resulted in England under this regime of having won as many test matches as they have lost. And part of the reason for that is not because of a lack of sort of skill and ability, because some of those players are so wildly skillful, Harry Brook, for example, that it doesn't bear thinking about. But the complete lack of game awareness and discipline, in-game discipline, to recognise moments and to play situations as they present themselves to you is what's killing England at the moment, and has done over in the past in big series against really good opposition. They've bullied poor opposition, but when it's come down to playing against India and Australia in particular, they've fallen well short on those metrics.
But what you've said there effectively is that England are making the same mistakes every match, every series. Now, surely that... You can accept the opposition being better with the ball, better with the bat, but surely if you are making the same mistakes continually, that is unacceptable.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think you've hit the nail on the head. The warning signs were there from Perth, and then again, I don't give them a pass for what happened in Perth, but I've seen it happen to other teams. I've seen it happen to England teams in the past in conditions in Perth that are so different from anywhere else in the world. That sort of thing can happen. But having been given that warning The warning around Mitchell Starc, not that you need one, he's one of the great bowlers in the world, but, not to drive on the up, not to be trying to flash at him every time he throws the ball up there and wide. To give him 6 wickets again in almost entirely the same fashion as they did in the first Test match at Perth was kind of inexcusable. And as I said, you've got Joe Root playing a great innings at the other end, showing the way, as he has done over the last 2 years, where he's scored, 12, 13, 14, 15 hundreds. And the rest of them don't seem to pay any attention to how he goes about it and why he is scoring runs at such an alarming rate at the moment. So the wickets get thrown away. Then, on a surface which is conducive to batting and to bowling, there was nothing wildly different about it other than the fact that you needed to show a bit of discipline and bowl line and length, which is a basic of cricket. They were unable to do it. Then drop the ball every time it went anywhere. And possibly, the reason for that is because you bowled so badly, you're not actually expecting to get any chances. It was just that first half of the game, the first 2 innings was so bad.
And off the field, there seems to be no sort of awareness at all about how some of the comments might go down. Obviously, the Brendan McCullum comment about England over-prepared. But even Ben Stokes saying, the boys need a few days break because it's been a tough tour so far. A tough tour. They've had a 2-day Test match and a 4-day Test match. The has-beens used to go on 3-4 months with games against state sides as well as Test matches.
Yeah, they did. I mean, so the ones that perhaps that Ben was referring to from an era before mine in the Bothams and the Gooches and stuff. But yeah, I mean, one thing I will say is that we went down on tours there. The 2 tours I went on, which was 98, 99, 2002, 2003, we played all the state games and stuff and still got whacked. So, but I think when you make comments like we were over prepared. Okay, so why did they feel the need to train 5 days on the bounce leading into the Test match? Because if you felt that you'd had enough cricket in you, enough miles in the legs for the bowlers, enough middle time or batting time for the bat, you wouldn't have needed to go 5 days on the trot leading into the Test. So all of those are decisions that they've made themselves. And I guess that the worst thing about it is that like 20 minutes after the Test match is gone and you're 2-0 down, you come out and say something like that. That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad optics, I think, and not reading the room particularly well. And you know what? He might actually be 100% right. They might have been a little bit stale when they got to it because they'd done all of that work leading into the Test match. But as I said, if you were ready, then you wouldn't have had to have gone 5 days on the bounce in the first place. So part of that is the decisions that they've made in the way that they've decided to prepare themselves for this Test match series.
But, sorry, mate. I was just going to say, looking at it, mate, I beg your pardon interrupting you there, because I'm really intrigued, mate, right? Now, you have to look at the next Test and say, it looks like Australia are going to be stronger, like particularly with the bowling line-up, with the boys coming back.
Yeah.
What can England do? Is there anything England can do differently?
Well, judging from some of the things that Ben said, that were less alarming, I suppose, or at least less designed to get people's hackles up around sort of, cricket in Australia is tough. You need tough men. I need tough men in my dressing room. It sounds as though there's going to be a change or two. Now, on the batting front, they've really only got Jacob Bethell in the squad, who can potentially come in. Ollie Pope is generally the one in the firing line, and he might be again after his performance in that Test match where he chopped on sort of third ball to another wide delivery from Mitchell Starc, and then his second innings just looked like his trousers were on fire the whole time. It looked like he'd get out at any minute. So maybe there's a change coming there, but they don't have a great deal of options in the actual touring squad to change too much else in the batting front. And then with the bowlers. Obviously, you've got Matthew Potts from Durham, who could come in. Bryden Carse had a horror first innings, even though he managed to pick up 4 wickets in the end. Josh Tongue, who was England's leading wicket taker throughout the summer, who I think is very, very underrated. One thing about Josh Tongue is he doesn't have a massive amount of discipline when it comes to bowling line in length, so it sounds a bit counterintuitive. But he is somebody that just takes wickets for fun. And you ally that with other bowlers doing their jobs better, and he could be very dangerous. But there isn't a massive amount that England can do to switch things up. And part of it, I don't think the personnel necessarily is the issue. Ben, that comment from Ben was an interesting one, because if I'd been England captain or coach over the course of the first 3 innings of this series so far, I think I would have, you'd have had to grab Harry Brook by the scruff of the neck, pin him up against the wall, Ian Botham style, and say, listen, mate, you're letting yourself down. Your talent is too wild. It's too good to sort of to play the way that you are playing at the moment, and we need more from you. And it almost looked as though that happened. Second innings, he came out and sort of applied himself much more, and then got a good ball, which can happen, which does happen in Test match cricket. So so a few hard truths are probably coming the England team's way, judging by what Ben said in the press conference afterwards.
Mark, all we can do is hope for improvement.
That's it, isn't it? I mean, the only team that's come back from being 2-0 down is a team led by Sir Don Bradman back in 1937. So I mean, it's looking very, very bleak. And as you said, Ali, that Australia are only going to get better if Cummins, Hazelwood, they'll play Lyon at Adelaide.
Stop.
So it could be horrible. It really could. But then the daft thing about this England team is that perhaps the thing about their preparation was they thought they were going to be playing against the sort of like the top guns in the A team, and they hadn't done any homework on the B team. I'm clutching at straws.
You are indeed. Mark, lovely to see you.
See you, Butch, mate.
Coming up, what would Graeme Souness do with Mo Salah if he was the Liverpool manager right now? We'll find out next.
To succeed, people often say you need to think outside the box. In sports, every now and then someone does just that and comes up with a crazy idea for an exhibition event that nobody else could have dreamt up. Here are some of the most iconic we've ever seen. I mean, what an image. This was the setting for the Battle of the Surfaces in 2007 between Roger Federer and Rafa Nadal. The courts in Nadal's home of Mallorca reportedly took 19 days to build and cost £1.2 million. The players had to change their shoes every time they changed ends, and despite some dodgy bits of grass, they slugged out an epic three-setter, won by Nadal. But that's not even the most famous exhibition in tennis, because in 1970, 1973, we got the Battle of the Sexes, watched by 50 million people in the US alone. Billie Jean King's victory over Bobby Riggs was not only a landmark event for entertainment value, but also for its impact on the fight for gender equality in sports. I mean, the Battle of the Surfaces never got turned into a movie. Now, imagine a motor race that involved American Indy cars and European F1 cars. Well, that happened twice, back in 1957 and 58. The race of the two worlds took place at Monza and was nicknamed Monzanapolis. Despite legends like Sterling Moss, Phil Hill and Mike Hawthorne racing the F1 cars, the Americans won both years. Fans and the teams loved it, but it didn't make enough money, so got canned. For its cast list alone, though, the greatest exhibition might have to go to the Princess Diana Memorial match at Lord's. Mike Atherton captained a Marylebone Cricket Club side with Sachin Tendulkar leading a rest of the world 11. Names like Wasim Akram, Sourav Ganguly, Andy Flower, Anil Kumble and Glenn McGrath turned out. The one-dayer, won by the rest of the world by 6 wickets, raised more than £1 million for the Princess of Wales Memorial Fund. Incredible all round.
Good morning, 7 minutes past 9 o'clock, Monday, December the 8th. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling, Ally McCoist and our friends at Arnold Clark get the UK's best used car deals guaranteed. Phil in Liverpool has texted, are we going to mention Everton, fellas, up to 5th? What's going on? We're not really, Phil. I'll be honest, it was a great win for them at the weekend. He says, my week has started great, by the way. So I've just emailed one of my biggest clients and predictive text sent it to Rat instead of Ray, and he's a Liverpool fan. I hope he accepts my explanation. Look, Everton going great guns at the moment.
Certainly are.
About that. Now then, we're reacting to those extraordinary comments made from Mo Salah in the immediate aftermath of Saturday's 3-3 draw at Leeds.
I'm sitting on the bench for 90 minutes. I think that's the third time I'm in the bench. I think it's my first time in my career, but I'm very disappointed. I'm very, very disappointed, to be fair. I have done so much for this club. Everybody can see that during the years, and especially last season. Sitting on the bench, I don't know why. Seems like the club is throwing me under the bus. That's how I feel it. I think it's very clear that someone wants me to get all the blame. The club promised me in the summer for a lot of promises and nothing. So far, I'm in the bench 3 games, so I can't say that they keep the promise. And I said that many times before. I had a good relationship with the manager, and out of the sudden, we don't have any relationship. I don't know why. It seems to me, how I see it, it's someone doesn't want me in the club.
Well, it was strong stuff, wasn't it? It was headline-making stuff, that's for sure. Let's get the reaction now of the former Liverpool captain and manager, Graeme Souness. Morning, Graeme.
Morning, Graeme. How you doing?
Good morning, man. I'm good, thank you. Alistair, how are you?
Very well, thanks, Graeme. Very well. I've got to ask you, Graeme, the comments. I mean, you'll have read them, you've known them, but these are them effectively. I've done so much for this club. The club's thrown me under a bus. I've been great for the club. someone wants to give me all the blame. Strange, very, very strange, Graeme.
Well, the first thing that jumps out at me when I read his quotes, it's all in the past tense. It's what he's done for the club. It's not what he's going to do for the club going forward. That's more important. Now, I'm going to say he's a great player, and that's not a word I use a lot. You guys in the media throw out to Rascal. Great. He's earned the title of great. He is good.
Going to lose you, Graeme. We have lost you. Sorry, mate. We will try and get you back at the moment. You're great is a word that's banded around a lot, isn't it, Coisty? Does he fall in that category? Great?
Yes, I think he does.
Yeah, I agree.
I definitely think he does. And by the way, if Graeme says that, you've got to take that, because I think Graeme was one himself, and Kenny and boys like that. That's the company I would call great. And it's interesting that Graeme said that, but I'll tell you right now, I think Graeme will be really surprised. I'm not going to put words in his mouth because he's more capable of doing that for himself, but he will be really surprised at those comments. There's no doubt about it.
But if something like this had happened in the days when Graeme was managing, were there different ways of dealing with it than perhaps there are now?
Oh, without doubt. Without doubt. I mean, that's one of the questions I'm dying to ask him. How would he handle it? See, the question we should be right was the question. There's two questions for Graeme, right? And I hope we get him back on. I'm praying we can get him back on, because I'd like to ask him, how would he handle, as a manager, how would he handle Mo Salah now, and how would he handle them 30 years ago, or 20 years ago, 25 years ago?
Well, let's ask him that now, because we've got Graeme back. So,
brilliant.
Graeme, how would you handle the Salah situation now, and would it differ from what you would have done in your managerial days?
Well, I think it's quite simple. I'd ask them, as we were asked, when I was a player at Liverpool, we went on a run. We were lost at home to Man City on Boxing Day and went 12th in the league. It was basically look in the mirror. What can you do? You know, it was a previous American president said, not what you can do. No, that may have been Churchill. What can you do for your country, not what the country can do for you? You know, look in the mirror first. That's the first place you should look. And I, you know, he's playing for a football club, Jeff, that is an institution. He's disrespecting, first of all, his teammates. He's disrespecting the supporters and that football club and all the great things that that club has achieved in its history. He's not been at it this year. He has to accept that. For whatever reason, he's not been at it. I went to the Community Shield and I came away scratching my head thinking, I hope that's just him not quite ready for the season yet, because he didn't take part in the game. I think it's 5 goals in 18 games. You have to be a mathematician to work out his numbers are very, very poor. He's got to get back to where he was. Now, he has no one else to blame but himself. And I heard you chaps earlier. My recollection is Kenny did get left out, by the way, by Joe Fagan. There's not a chance to go down that road. Let me tell you how it was in our day and how it should be. It should be if you want to be super successful. When I was a player, I was captain at a football club. I'm getting changed. I'm looking at the substitutes. There was 2 in those days. There'd been a midweek international. Those 2 subs both played for the countries in midweek. There was another 5 or 6 players not getting changed at all. They had all played for the country in midweek. And I knew if I had 2 back-to-back games where I'd been bang average, they'd be talking about me in the boot room. 3 bad games, it'd be a major concern. 4 bad games, I'd be one of those guys not getting changed for match day. And that's how it should be. The pressure's on at big football clubs to turn up every single game. And the really damning thing for me was when he said he doesn't have to turn up every day and fight for his place in training because of what he's done for the club. I'll throw this at you. As a manager, you've always got half a dozen players that are not quite with you because they feel they should be starting every week. So he turns up, the star man turns up and they're not at it in training. It's an excuse for that 5 or 6 that are not quite with you to do the exact same thing. He should be setting the standards. There was a responsibility as a senior player, and I go on it, and Alistair will back this up. You must have good senior players at your football club. Yep. They have to take the responsibility of setting the standards for every single day in training. We had a guy called Phil Neal would go to war every single day in training. You could fall out with him quite easily. Every single day in training. He led from the front every single day in training. That's what he has to get back to.
Graeme, can I ask you a quick question, please? Can I ask you a question, Graeme? Now, and it's a very, very difficult, bordering on impossible one to answer. What does Arne Slot do now? Because from Arne Slot's point of view, the club is by far and away the most important thing. So his next step has to benefit the team and the club. Does he weigh up that situation now and say, it's in the club's best interest, I don't take him to Milan and leave him out? Or does he sit down and say, look, where are you? We maybe need an apology, we maybe need something, but you're too good a player to not be in this squad. What does he do?
Well, I don't think he needs to apologise. I think he's made himself look silly. Alistair, you've been a manager. The priority for Arne Slot right now is the next game of football and winning that. Now, if he feels by bringing him back, there's been a bit of shock treatment, or he's going to get more out of Mo Salah this year, Mo Salah's not been at it. He has to accept that for whatever reason. And I'll throw this in there, and I hope I'm so wrong with this. Some people come to that age, 33, Van Dijk 34, where in some cases it's a slow decline.
Mm-hmm.
And with others it's like falling off a cliff. And I hope that's not the case. It might be one of those, but I hope it's not the case.
Yeah.
I come back to, he doesn't deserve to be in the team. And the fact that he can actually stay and be quoted as saying he doesn't have to turn up every day and train properly because of what he's done in the past for that football club, it beggars belief in my book.
Mm-hmm.
Every day you should train every day at max tempo. Okay, not for 90 minutes, but max tempo for half an hour. So when the game comes on the Saturday, the Sunday, the intensity is not a surprise for you. He's obviously costing, and the manager saw that, and he's left him out. And the supporters should back the manager.
Yeah.
The manager is doing nothing different. The manager will be. I'm talking quickly, and I'm all excited now. You can see the passion I have for this. The manager's job is to get the best out of the group of players. Back him. He will be doing the exact same things this season as he was last season. Last season they won the league by doing whatever. The way they trained, the time they trained, the type of training they did, the travel they do, the hotels they stay in, what they eat before a game. He'll be wearing the same underpants, Arne Slot, as he was wearing last year when they're winning everything. You have these little daft little habits that you get into as a manager. He'll be doing nothing different. He'll be scratching his head. Why are we not winning games like we were last year? We talk about the new players coming in. Just park the new players for a minute. Don't involve them in the argument. Where are the players that won in the league last year? Where are they?
Mm.
Where are they? I come back to us. I think I got cut off when I started to tell a story. We lost at home 1 year to Man City on Boxing Day. We went 12th in the league. And we had a meeting I could take to the exact spot on Mel where we had the meeting, where Joe Fagan got us together in a circle and said, that's it, I'm done with you. Every bit of knowledge I've told you, I've tried to help you. It's now up to you guys. And we went on and won the league. Don't blame the manager for everything. I heard a couple of muppets on talking about them sacking the manager, and they don't know what they're on about. It's just the responsibility of the players. They were good enough last year, so it's in them. You don't become a bad player overnight. It's in them. But for some reason, they're not playing for me. They're not playing with the same intensity. I look at the 3 goals you can see against Leeds, all avoidable. They're not. They're not defensive situations like their life depends on it, and that's cost them dearly at the weekend. But in terms of the manager should go, that's nonsense. It's the players. Players, please take the responsibility. Look in the mirror and say, could I do more?
Graeme, thank you. Love the passion.
Graeme,
love
cheers.
the passion. Thank you, mate.
See you guys.
All the best.
Cheers.
Not wrong, Jeff. Not wrong at all.
Yeah, of course you've got to look at yourself in the mirror. He's dead right there. My only question would be whether Mo Salah's form, whether Virgil van Dijk's form, whether Kirkez's form, whether Wirtz's form, whether Isak's form is in part down to the management. Now, I don't know. I have no idea whatsoever. Just a question I would throw out there, that's all. For more on Mo Salah, don't forget to check out today's talkSPORT Daily podcast. As Alan Pardew says, Liverpool have to discipline Salah. Don't forget Inter Milan against Liverpool live on talkSPORT tomorrow at 8. Coverage begins at 7. We also bring you Tottenham against Slavia Prague on talkSPORT 2. But up next, we'll celebrate the brilliance of Lando Norris after he won his first F1 driver's title.
So we are almost ready to go. Ian Danter here in the commentary box. It is all about whether Dean Saunders can retain the talkSPORT World Championship. To win the leg. She's got it! Gets it! Double nine! He refuses the handshake.
Good morning, 9:23. It is Monday, December the 8th. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling and Ally McCoist. Quick text from Richard in Sheffield. He said, morning, boys. I worked 22 years at Sheffield United selling programmes. I missed 12 home games in that time. I must have been thrown under the bus because I never once got on the bench after all I did for that club. Brilliant. Thank you very much indeed, Richard.
Good, Richard.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great lad. He said he should be shipped off to Accrington Stanley on loan. Now, I would love to see that. Can you imagine Mo Salah
Bumble would take that.
on the
Bumble
wing
would
for
accept that.
Accrington Stanley? Brilliant. Yeah. Now, for the first time since 2020, someone other than Max Verstappen's won the Formula One World Championship. It's Britain's Lando Norris who got the job done yesterday in Abu Dhabi. Now, he's been in go-kart since he was, 6 or 7 years of age? And I'm delighted to say we're joined now by Lando's childhood karting coach, Rob Dodds. Morning, Rob.
Good morning, Rob.
Morning, guys.
So, Rob, how quickly was his talent evident?
As I said, Lando came with me to start off with when he was 7 years of age. You can't actually start racing until you're 8. So he had a year's sort of coming up to speed. But what did definitely help him is I also looked after his older brother, Oliver, who was a couple of years older. So there was a bit of a sibling rivalry, if you like. So by the time Lando was ready to race at 8 years age, he was on the pace straight away. Which normally takes 2 or 3 years, you know.
Rob, tell me, I mean, I think I'm right in saying the 11th, I beg your pardon, British champion, which is fantastic. I mentioned earlier, I don't think I can remember seeing a more popular one. He's obviously very, very popular with his fellow drivers, which is great. What kind of platform could this be for him to go on?
I think, you know what I mean, as long as the thing is in Formula One, you've got to have everything. I mean, you know, yeah. Obviously we've got the driver, we've got to have the engine, we've got to have the car. I think, especially with his age, you know, it should set him up for quite a good run. You know, I think he will be at the front, whatever he drives, to be fair.
Yeah. Well, what was he like as a kid then? Because he still strikes me now, when I hear him interviewed, he's still quite shy, he's still quite reserved. Was he a timid kid?
Not really. I think it was, you know what I mean, he's still a young lad, isn't he, really? Yeah. You know, he's 26. But he was, as a young lad, no, he was a bit quirky. But that was part of his charm, and I think that's why a lot of people can identify with him. And you know, he does wear his heart on the sleeve, and that's not a bad thing, you know.
Yeah, he's had fantastic support from his parents, hasn't he?
Oh, amazing! Yes, yeah. You know, they've done everything and more. You know, it's not a cheap sport to start off with. So, as you can imagine, with two young lads, coming along with racing together. Yeah, it's not a cheap sport. Luckily, the eldest one dipped out. So,
Rob, tell me, there was obviously a bit of maybe a little bit of no, I wouldn't use the word panic, but a little bit of concern after the previous Grand Prix. It was. Is it fair to say it was never really in any doubt that he was going to be champion yesterday?
No, you're right. You're right, Ali. It was panic. It was the panic. Yeah. But listen, it's sport, and as you know, yeah, anything can go wrong, and it will go wrong. So I just think it showed his character and the team's character that they were able to sort of sit down, regroup, go again, and come up with the goods when it matters.
Where did you watch it at, Rob? How were you feeling? Were you punching the air?
It was a bit of relief, to be honest with you. Yeah, it was a bit of relief. It was, you know, as I said, it would be nice to have it all over last week and had this week just to celebrate. But no, it kept us guessing. But again, it is the World Championship, and that's what it should do. It should go down to the wire, you know, so for everybody concerned.
Brilliant, Rob. Thank you so much for joining us.
Well done, Rob.
Cheers, Alan. Cheers, Jeff. Thank you very much indeed for your time.
Brilliant.
The go-karting coach of Lando Norris. I'd have been up there, you know, the champagne out myself, I'll tell you that.
Magic.
But it's a brilliant, brilliant story, isn't it? Back to the Mo Salah issues. Craig in Bangkok says, Andy Robertson signed for Liverpool, same year as Salah. He's played over 250 games for the club. He's won exactly the same amount of trophies with Liverpool as Salah has. He's just captained his international team to their first World Cup in over 25 years. He was benched for 5 of the first 8 Premier League games this season. Did he go whining to the press about how he's been so badly done to? Salah's form has dropped off massively this season, and currently he doesn't deserve a spot. He's been great at the Premier League, but it's professional sport at the highest level. There is no room for sentimentality. That's from Craig in Bangkok. Craig, thank you very much indeed. Coming up, we'll hear from a Hearts fan who says that win against Celtic was one of the best days of his life. That's next.
Bring him on.
Every spring, sports fans in Europe come together to celebrate arguably rugby's biggest annual tournament. the Six Nations. But why is it the home nations, plus France and Italy, and no one else? It all started back in 1871 when Scotland beat England in the very first international rugby match. A few years later, when they could field a team, Wales decided they'd host England and an idea was thought up. With Ireland keen, they formed the Home International Championship, which ran from 1883. In 1910, France was allowed to join, as they were developing into a serious rugby nation, and thus the Five Nations was born. France had an interesting history with the championship. They were actually booted out for paying their players in 1931, when the home nations were keen to keep it amateur. After World War II, though, France were let back in, but it remained a closed shop for more than 50 years. And when another country was let in, it was only really because the Five Nations hand had been forced. Italy was developing into a serious contender, beating Scotland, France and Ireland twice in the same year, meaning in 1999 officials got together and said yes to Italy and it became the Six Nations. So what changes, if any, come next? 7 nations? 8? A promotion and relegation system? Or should we leave it alone and let it remain the great rugby tradition it's become?
Good morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast with the Arnold Clark app. Everything for your car, all in one place. Download it today. I'm Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist is with us. Gosh, the Maltesers. The chocolates with the less fattening centre, £4 a box.
By the way, I swear to God, they're on offer somewhere, because the wee and produced them the other night there for the final of the Jungle last night, and I go off my head because I wouldn't be paying £4. It's over £1 for the wee packet of red ones. It's diabolical.
Well, it is incredible, isn't it?
Diabolical. Mind you, Jeff, if I was going to treat myself, it would be a Malteser.
I like a Malteser.
Aye, I like a Malteser.
The problem is that once you start on them, you know,
correct.
Sometimes having them in the car,
correct.
You know, so once you start, I'm just going to have a couple of these.
Aye.
And the next thing is they're all gone. By the time you get the next service station, they're gone.
I'll take a wee handful and I'll ask a wee and just to remove them from the living room.
Yeah.
It's the safest policy.
Yeah. Look, I know the answer to it because I've asked you about Kit Kats before, where you bite the chocolate off around the edges, and that's what you do. That's what everybody should do. With Maltesers,
suck them.
Do you put them in? Yes, suck them.
Oh,
so the chocolate goes, and you've just got the honeycomb left in.
Oh man, it's magic, isn't it?
It is.
And you get that wee bit of chocolate stuck to the roof of your mouth. Can't beat it, mate.
Yeah, you can't beat it. You can't. It's the only way to eat Maltesers.
Correct.
Suck them. Now the Wilfred Nancy era got off to a bad start as Hearts strengthened their title bid with a 2-1 win at Celtic Park yesterday. Rangers, by the way, just 6 points off Celtic after winning 3-0 at Kilmarnock. But let's hear from the new Celtic coach, Wilfred Nancy, who told the club's official channel the response to the defeat will be swift.
I think that this is exciting to see all the game coming, and this is the most important. And after that, like I said to the player, as they were disappointing, yes, but I'm going to show them what we need to keep doing well, because like I told you, I think this is really interesting. After that, yes, we know that we have many games coming. The objective is to rest, to come back fresh, and after that to take one game after one game. This is the message.
Well, it's a tough baptism, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know whether you saw much of the game.
I did.
Costa. Yes, so did I. And I'll be brutally honest, in the last 5 minutes, Celtic never looked like scoring.
Correct. That's what I thought. I thought Hearts looked pretty comfortable. I know Kieran gets a goal, which is a good strike, but I thought the game was just a bit by then. But they looked really, really comfortable, Hearts defensively.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, a lot's been made of the fact that, you know, we saw the shots of Wilfred Nancy with his tactics board out.
Yeah.
It wasn't a good luck. But obviously he's got a good track record in the MLS.
Yeah.
He's never even been to Scotland. Never been to Scotland. I mean, this is an almighty punt, isn't it?
I think so. I really, really do. And I'm not saying it after the event, after yesterday, because that you could take that game as a kind of one-off. And Hearts, as we've seen, they've beaten Celtic twice in a row. They won at Rangers, so the result isn't a massive surprise. Not a massive shock, I don't think. But the fact of the matter is, I think the appointment certainly surprised me and a lot of folk. From where I'm sitting, I said to I think yourself and Big Al, I wouldn't have seen any reason not to keep Martin in it till at least the end of the season, really. Certainly post-cup final, and just because the one thing about Martin is completely and utterly steady. I mean, he's far better than a steady pair of hands, but he steadied the ship, and with his managerial experience, just came in and was winning games of football. So I thought it was a little bit of a gamble that perhaps wasn't really needed and could have waited to the end of the season, Jeff.
Yeah, and it doesn't get any easier. They've got Roma, haven't they?
Correct, Roma in the cup final.
And then the cup final, So it's a really difficult start as far as he's concerned. And I know you said you weren't surprised by it, but a lot of people thought that Hearts' bubble had burst. I mean, they hadn't won in the last four. I love Lauren Shanklin described it as a wee wobble, but others thought it was more than that. Steve-O, the painter's texted, he said, can you please put a special message out to Delboy McInnes and the Gorgie boys on their amazing win against Celtic? The bubble hasn't burst. It's just getting bigger. Actually, let's get a Hearts perspective on this, shall we? Reese is a Hearts fan. Morning, Reese.
Morning, Reese.
Good morning, Alistair. Good morning, Jeffrey. How are you doing this fine Monday morning?
Well, we're doing very well, but probably not as well as you by the sounds of it.
No. Do you know what? My wife's raging at me because my brogues have been worn out because I was sloshing all day last night. Beautiful Sunday.
You're showing your age, Reece. You're showing your age, mate.
I will say this. I think Celtic should keep the board, and Wilfred is a fantastic appointment. Him and his battleships last night was absolutely outstanding.
Yeah. Reece, tell me about the game, mate. I watched the game. I mean, I thought your back four. I mean, I like your two centre backs, mate. I think they're really solid. Halkett and Finlay are really, really solid. But I'd like to hear your opinion, mate, on probably your best signing in a long, long time. And I think he's a perfect foil for Shanklin, Claudio Braga.
Braga's making all the Gorgie boys absolutely delighted. He's got his own song and he deserves it.
Yeah.
But I do also think that the defence is actually our perfect point our pinnacle point this season. It's every season, and as you say in the Heart song, our defence is as strong as the old Castle Rock. I thought, as much as Celtic had most of the possession, they had more possession in our back third part. They didn't threaten us. They really didn't threaten us. And genuinely, you weren't expecting to lose yesterday. And I just think it was a brilliant game. It was a brilliant game. We took our chances when we got them. And that's what winning teams do.
Yeah. Special mention for Cammy Devlin, Reece.
Oh, Cammy Devlin's one of my favourite players. I'm thinking about getting if he was in bed with my wife, I'd tuck him in. Honestly, what a man! There's talks about him going to Derby County. I think he'd be absolutely gutted to leave Hearts, to be honest with you. You can just tell how much he loves the jam tarts.
I'm not surprised if he's getting invitations like that for Hearts supporters, by the way.
And by the way, Ali, you should see my wife. She's a 10 out of 10 as well.
So, Reece, look, 3 points clear at the top. You could be 6 points clear come this weekend. Will you win it?
I think, do you know what? I hope we do. Do I think we will? No. But I hope we do. And by the way, if it does, then my wife's not going to see me for 3 months because I'll just be on a bender for then. But, honestly, it's the best time to be a Hearts fan in my whole life.
Brilliant.
I've seen us win 3 Scottish Cups, but you win a league, then bloody hell.
Reece, I'm going to tell you, mate, if you win it, you better look at that Harry outfit for me again.
Aye, you better get it on, Alistair. You better get it on. I'm pals with your mate, Ian Durant as well, so he's promised me that he's going to come on a vendor as well, so you can join us.
Reece, thanks very much indeed for the
All
call.
the best, pal.
Take care, gentlemen. Have a lovely Monday.
Thank you, mate.
too.
I think we know far too much than we should do about Reece and his missus, to be brutally honest, after that call. Goodness me. Adam, who's a Celtic fan, says, I honestly don't know what game Ali was watching. Celtic missed 2 sitters from 5 yards out, Maida in the first half and Engels in the second. I think the game was over before Engels missed it.
He should have scored the header right enough. I take the point.
Of course he should. You know, it's a decent stop, but it's straight at him, basically. Correct. But he said normal service will be resumed when Celtic win the league in May. Adam, thank you very much indeed for that. He's a Celtic fan from Uddingston. Wolves Man United tonight. Coisty, can you see any element of a shock? I mean, it sounds daft, it's only December, but games are already running out, aren't they, for Wolves? Whereas for Manchester United, people are starting to question again after a couple of little blips.
Well, it was funny, wasn't it? I did their game at Palace. I thought first half they were it just kind of summed up United, Jeff. I thought first half they were poor and then second half they were excellent. Won the game. And then they're looking to go, I think, joint 4th against West Ham. And they take lead and can't hold on to the lead. I think that just kind of sums up where United are. I certainly think there's an improvement last year, but I still think there's a problem with consistency, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you give Wolves any chance at all? I mean, they can't have any chance, can they?
Nah, Jeff, I genuinely can't see it. I mean, it would be one of the. I mean, it'd be a Steve McQueen great escape. That would be. I'll tell you right now. I mean, if they get themselves out of this one, it's from where they are at this moment in time. You'd have to say it looks nearly impossible, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does indeed. And so far, it's a difficult job for Rob Edwards. We know that, but there hasn't been any sort of bounce in terms of results. At least, but we shall see. Wolves against Manchester United, live and exclusive on talkSPORT tonight from 8. Edwin Durham is your host from 7. Commentary coming from Joe Shannon and Danny Murphy. Up next, we'll turn our attention back to Mo Salah and whether or not there's any chance he could play against Inter Milan tomorrow night, live on talkSPORT.
Yeah. Special mention for Cammy Devlin, Reece.
Oh, Cammy Devlin's one of my favourite players. I'm thinking about getting, like, if he was in bed with my wife, I'd tuck him in.
We are almost ready to go. Ian Danter here in the commentary box. It is all about whether Dean Saunders can retain the talkSPORT World Championship. To win the leg. She's got it! Gets it! Double nine! He refuses the handshake.
Good morning to 9:48. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling and Ally McCoist. Let's look ahead to the talkSPORT Darts Trophy with QuickFit.
The talkSPORT Darts Trophy with QuickFit, where interim services start from 180. Well, 176.95 to be precise. Terms and conditions apply.
Yeah, the QuickFit talkSPORT Darts Trophy is back for 2025. Join Hawksby and Jacobs on Wednesday from 1 as 8 talkSPORT presenters go head-to-head at the Hockey. And this year we're bigger than better than ever with 2 talkSPORT promoter companies managing the talent. Alan Brazil, Ali and I are heading up Tipple 20 Promotions. I just want to say at this stage, I've got nothing to do with this, OK? Let's rephrase that. Alan Brazil and Ali are heading up Tipple 20 Promotions against Jim and Simon's Flight and Jordan Limited. And the draw is as follows. Gabby the Gabfather Agbonlahor against Andy Galeforce Goldstein. The Sports Bar Derby, Jamie the Chunk O'Hara against Jason One Bull Cundy. Natalie the Destroyer Sawyer will be looking to embarrass Darren the Truth Bent once again. And a repeat of last year's final of Dean the Storyteller Saunders against Jermaine the Saint Pennant. Don't forget the World Darts Championship starts this week as well. Coisty?
Tell you what I'm going to say to you, Jeff.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about this. It just leaves me speechless because I've seen them.
It's Dino. It's Dino's to lose. It's Dino to lose. The only thing I can say is, I mean, I've never felt a swell of crowd support more in my life for any sports person than Natalie. We really desperately want Natalie to do the double over Benty. That's the one thing we want. But I tell you who needs a mention in the darts world. Scotland's Mitchell Laurie. 15 years of age, Jeff. And he was denied in a bid to become the youngest ever winner of a world darts title by Dutchman Jimmy van der Schie. So this guy, this young kid, this young Scots lad at 15 years of age, Mitchell Laurie, has got an unbelievable future ahead of him. He's a WDF Youth World Champion and the WDF Senior Runner-Up, and he's only 15, mate. It's incredible. Yeah. Absolutely incredible.
I mean, I saw that. They're talking about him in the same breath as Luke Littler, aren't they? You know? And Little has come through and exploded on the scene. I mean, brilliant for darts, and there's no reason why other youngsters should do exactly
well, that's the thing that I was going to say to you. I think Littler has made such a brilliant impact on the sport in general. These guys are following, and long may it continue. It's great.
Don't forget, our darts kicks off on Wednesday, and as well as listening to H&J, you can watch the action on the talkSPORT app, YouTube, or search talkSPORT on your smart TV. I think I'll be keeping my head down. And that was thanks to QuickFit.
The talkSPORT Darts Trophy with QuickFit, where interim services start from 180. Well, 176.95 to be precise. Terms and conditions apply.
Right, let's finish with a bit of this.
Ask me. Here's Ally McCoist. Oh, he's done it! Ally McCoist from Red Jones.
Are you winding me
not.
No, I'm deadly serious. You know where the creator of the Rubik's Cube came from? Came from Czechoslovakia. So there you are, have some of that.
You need to introduce me to this Tinder. Is it dangerous? You're a pair of numpties, so yeah. Let's be having you! Let's be having you! Oh, gee, was I?
You were only supposed to blow up a bloody dog.
What's that?
Yeah, I've nailed it, man. I've nailed it. Yeah, time for a spot of Ask Ali to finish the show today. We've been talking Mo Salah for most of the morning. News coming in that he has turned up at the training ground this morning ahead of the trip to Inter. Do you think he makes that flight to Milan, Coisty?
Well, there's an interesting one, because I'm probably sitting in the exact same seat as Graeme Souness is. And he makes it if the manager thinks it benefits the team and the squad. Simple as, if it gives him a problem and it's something he doesn't, an added problem that he doesn't need, then I think the manager's well within his rights to leave him at home. But there's only one man that can answer that question. Because if it's to the benefit of the team, he takes him. If it's to the detriment of the team, he doesn't take him. Yeah. Where I'm 100%, in my opinion, is I think he was very, very foolish to make those remarks. Not only was he foolish, I think he was totally wrong in making those remarks. I think he has completely let himself and the club down. And I'm not forgetting what he's achieved. And I'm not forgetting what a talent he's been. And I'm also not forgetting, you know, what he's done for Liverpool Football Club. But equally and more importantly, I'm not forgetting what Liverpool Football Club and the fans have done for him.
Yeah. He'll know if he's in trouble or not when he finds out whether he's sitting in economy. Sports Personality of the Year takes place later this month. Two favourites are Rory McIlroy and Lando Norris. Hey, you know what, Coisty? I'm not picking either of those two. I mean,
I know
if
how
you've listened to me before, I'm not into Sports Personality of the Year. I don't think it counts one jot. But there's only one winner, only one possible winner. We've spoken to him this morning, haven't we? And his name is Kevin Sinfield.
100%.
Forget the rest.
100%. And I knew you and I would be singing exactly from the same hymn sheet there. Rory, out of this world, absolutely fantastic. Yeah. I'm delighted for him, and I watched it and I was thrilled. Everything, Ryder Cup, the whole bit. He's just magnificent. What a sportsman, and I'm so pleased for him. The entertainment he's given is absolutely remarkable, and long may it continue. Lando Norris, I'm equally pleased for Jeff. I genuinely am, because you know they say sometimes the good guys don't win them, and I'm watching and I'm listening to it, and I'm listening to everybody, and the reaction from everybody. Clearly, he was overcome, which he should be. You think about the road that he's come down and all that. It's wonderful. His family supporting him and all that kind of stuff. It's a dream come true and a well-earned championship. Good on him. Yeah. Brilliant. Pleased for him. Pleased for McLaren. However, you're absolutely right. We spoke to a superhero today. There's no doubt about it. A wonderful, wonderful man who's doing everything he can to keep the memory of his pal alive and well in an attempt to thwart and find a cure for one of the most horrific diseases that our human race has ever known. And that's why he would get my vote, and I think he would get your vote, and I think he would get the vast majority of the public's vote. Yeah, really do.
You know what, Ali? He would get the vote of Rory McIlroy and Lando Norris as well. I'm pretty sure of that.
Absolutely.
Just finally, England 2-0 down in the Ashes, needing to win the final 3 tests to bring the Ashes back. It's not going to happen. Should we still be rooting for the Bazball style, or do we need to change?
Oh, Jeff, man, I think we've got to change. See the Bazball style, right? From me as a, you know, I would never claim to be a knowledgeable cricket man, but I love my cricket. I really enjoy it, and I really enjoy the England cricket team. I do. Don't get me wrong, if they're playing Scotland, I want Scotland to win. But that said, I think they've got to play more intelligently and play, you know, suss out the game, suss out the surroundings, suss out the wicket, suss out the bowler. It looks to me as if they're kind of one-dimensional and playing. They're effectively just playing. It just looks to me. I said to Butch, Jeff, they're just getting out the same way. They're playing shots that players of that quality should not be playing. I think it's. I think the England, the Barmy Army and the England support now are now at a stage where they want to see them fight as if they'd rather lose a limb than lose a blink in their wicket. You know, I think they're just giving up their wickets too easily, and that's the thing that's really getting to the English cricket support now. I genuinely do. Will they change? I'm not so sure, Jeff, but I hope so.
Ali, thank you very much, mate. Don't forget the FA Cup third round draw tonight. talkSPORT will bring you everything you need to know before live and exclusive coverage of Wolves against Manchester United. Andy has had the last word on the text. He said, "Morning, Jeff. Coisty, you're drifting. You're now 80-1 at Fontwell today. This is Coisty the horse, runs in the 12:55. He says, word got out. You ate a box of Maltesers on Sunday night. You're carrying too much weight."
Very good.
Brilliant. Andy, thanks for that. Coisty, thank you very much indeed.
Smash it, mate. Take care.
Have a great week. Tomorrow morning it's Gabby and myself for a Villa loving. You won't want to miss it. Unless you're an Arsenal fan. Sam Matterface, Simon Jordan, and a man who's made a lot of headlines this weekend, Martin Keown, are next. Don't miss it.
I'm alive. I'm sorry. 1 second. Sorry. Stupid song. 1 second. 1 second. If you ever, whatever the weather,